Welcome to San Luis Obispo, California for CCL Baseball on the Foresters Radio Network. Today, the Sturs have traveled north to take on the SLO Blues to continue their series, which began on Sunday. I'm Hunter Shoemake, and we welcome you to Sinsheimer Park. Well, when you look back to Sunday, the Sturs were dealt a 5-2 loss to the rivals, the SLO Blues. The Sturs in that contest out-hit the SLO Blues 9-4, but the thing that really stands out on the box score, the 5 errors from the Santa Barbara Foresters, 5-1 in the error column in Santa Barbara. They were the ones that struck first in that ball game, putting up 2 runs in the first, but then conceded 5 runs through the 5th and 9th innings. Today, they'll look to bounce back, and here's the starting order today, put together by Bill Pintard. Leading off and in left field will be Maddox Mandino. Batting second in center field will be Terrence Kill. Batting third and at third will be Easton Mumaw. To bat fourth will be Brenton Clark in right field. Cole Chamberlain will bat fifth, doing the catching. To bat sixth and at second base will be Sawyer Farr. Batting seventh and at first base, a new addition to the team, Caden Miller. Batting eighth, the DH, Caleb Hoover. And round out the order, the 9-hole hitter, the shortstop, Coleman Ryan, who will also be making his debut today for the Foresters. Bryce Navarro will be the starting pitcher, but on the hill now is Hunter Hammond, the starting right-hander for the SLO Blues. Maddox Mandino already in the box, and here comes the first pitch. Away we go from Sinsheimer Park. It was a fastball missing upstairs from Hunter Hammond to Mandino. Ball 1. Working quick. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Another fastball high and in for ball 2. So it's going to be Maddox Mandino in his typical spot, top spot of the order to kick off this ball game for the Sturs. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It is a slider and it's located on the outside edge for strike 1 on Mandino. Hunter Hammond, the right-hander who plays his collegiate baseball with Westmont College in the Santa Barbara area, winds up a 2-1 pitch. It will be a changeup away for ball 3 for Mandino. Infield is straight away for the SLO Blues, and the sun will be setting to our right of where we are located here. Here's a 3-1 offering. Fastball is foul back off near the hands and directly behind the plate, halfway up the screen for a full count now on Mandino. Just underway, it's going to be Mandino, Kill, Mumaw scheduled in the top of the first inning for the Sturs. Hunter Hammond, the right-hander, working from the center of the hill. Winds up the 3-2 pitch to Mandino is a slider in a shallow left field. Moving in is Logan Hart, the left fielder, a couple paces to his right, fights the sun and makes the squeeze, and Mandino will be retired in the first, 1 down in the opening inning. Santa Barbara playing in their 14th CCL contest this evening. Dealt just their 2nd loss of the year, courtesy of the SLO Blues on Sunday afternoon. Entering today, 10-2 CCL record. The Blues an 8-7 CCL record. Base is clear, 1 away, and here is Terrence Kill. The first pitch is a fastball, swing and miss. Kill late on it for strike 1. Some shadows currently projecting themselves onto the infield from the right side of this ballpark. The sun is setting on the first base side of the field, and any ball on the left side of the infield in the left field be a difficult play to fight the sun. Here comes an 0-1, and it's going to be a slider missing high and up for Terrence, and he is quickly ahead, now at a 1-1 count. Hammond continues his quick tempo. 1-1 pitch is going to be a fastball away at the knees for ball 2. Kill entering today, hitting .341, but had a fantastic week last week, hitting .379 with an OPS of .803. Here comes the next pitch, and it's fouled back, nubbed back into the backstop on the ground, just off the end of the bat for strike 2. Just underway, no score. Base is clear, 1 now, and Terrence Kill, who's been a fantastic addition to this roster for Bill Pintard, is at a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. And it's going to be clipping the left side. It looked like initially it was going to be in there, but just grazes the left elbow of Terrence Kill. And with 1 out, Terrence Kill is hit by a pitch.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
The Sturs have their first base runner. It's going to be Terrence Kill. Put 1 on, 1 out. Just underway in the top half of the first, and that's going to bring up Easton Mumaw. Man will bat from the left side against the right-hander Hammond, who really just has a 2-pitch mix, very fastball and slider dominant, works in the changeups to the left-handed batters. Here comes the pitch, and it will be a fastball in there for strike 1. The breeze currently blowing right to left, pole to pole, and a pretty hearty wind. You look at the American flag straight away in center field. Probably see about 10 knots going right to left in the outfield. And at first, 1 out. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's going to be a changeup clipping the outer half at the knees to Easton. So he is now behind 0-2. Terrence Kill, in case you're wondering, has gone 4 stolen bags this year on 7 attempts. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and the fastball will miss inside. Great take from Easton Mumon. The fans here at Shinsheimer Stadium thought that was in there for called strike 3. But it was ball 1. 1 out, 1 on, no score. And here comes the 1-2 pitch from Hammond. Kill's on the ground. He's going to take off to second base, and that ball is scooped up by the shortstop. They have a play at second base as Terrence Kill from first overran second, trying to get to third, and there's a head-diving race from the shortstop who collected that baseball behind second base and Terrence Kill. But both are going to be safe. Easton Mumaw, as Terrence Kill was taking off from first base, rolled that ball up the middle. It was a great play by the shortstop, Sam Ardois, to field it behind second. And Kill thought that ball got through into center field and was going to take off to third, but it was the shortstop, Sam Ardois, to cover it up. And there's a foot race back to second, but Kill got there before the shortstop. So now it's first and second, 1 out to bring up Brenton Clark. Here's the pitch, and it's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. And it will go down as an infield single for Easton Mumaw. So the Sturs have a chance to strike early in this contest. Only a single out, first and second, and Brenton Clark has been fantastic this year. Here's a 1-0, and that is away for ball 2. Clark is hitting .400. He has brought home 7 runs this year. On-base percentage of .551, one of the best on this Foresters team. Can Santa Barbara strike first in this opening inning? First and second, 1 out. 2-0 pitch is a fastball fouled back on top of the third base on deck circle where the Foresters are housed here at Shinsheimer Park. So that will be strike 1 on Clark. To follow Brenton will be Cole Chamberlain. Kill at second, Mumaw at first. Hunter Hammond trying to work around some base runners. 2-1 pitch is going to be a slider missing away at belt height for ball 3. Hunter Hammond, the starter, standing at 6'5" for the SLO Blues, has only tossed 7 innings so far this year. It is his 3rd appearance and 2nd start. 1 walk to 6 Ks. Comes a big 3-1 pitch, and that's going to miss upstairs on the fastball. Bases are going to be filled with Foresters in the opening inning. The first man was retired. Kill was hit by a pitch. Infield single by Mumaw and Brenton Clark. A 1-out walk. The 14th walk of the season for Brenton. And that's going to load the bags for Cole Chamberlain. No score. Top of the first inning. Hunter Hammond will try to limit the damage. There goes Kill. He's going to hold up at third base. The first pitch is going to miss inside to Cole Chamberlain, who's corkscrewed counterclockwise out of the left-handed batter's box. But Terrence Kill, as it is a right-hander on the hills, looking directly at third base. Took off about a third of the way down the third base line. Just trying to get in the head of the starter for the SLO Blues, Hunter Hammond. The bases are loaded, 1-0 pitch, and it's going to be down in a great slide from Cam Andrews. That ball is in the dirt, and the catcher slid to his right to keep the runners at bay. And quickly ahead, 2-0 is Cole Chamberlain. You do not want to have any mistakes over the plate with Chamberlain. Has fantastic power. He brought home 6 runs last week alone. What can he do here? Here's a 2-0 check swing, but a called strike on the outer edge. It was the fastball from Hammond, 2-1. To follow Cole will be Sawyer Farr in this opening inning. Bases loaded with Santa Barbara Foresters. Only a single out. Infield at double play depth, and Hunter Hammond, the starter for the Blues. 2-1 pitch is a slider just clipping the inside edge. Chamberlain would probably think that was inside, but it's now 2-2. Terrence Kill at third. Mumaw at second. Brenton Clark at first. Only a single out, and here comes a massive 2-2 pitch from Hunter Hammond. He holds, looks to third. And here's the 2-2 delivery to Chamberlain. In there, called strike 3, and Chamberlain goes down looking, 2 out in the first. First punch out for Hunter Hammond as he gets Chamberlain looking. And a huge second out for the cause for the Blues. And remember, the Sturs were the ones who struck first on Sunday, putting up 2 runs in the first. And it was Cole Chamberlain who had a 2 RBI single to bring home the only 2 runs of the game for the Sturs. But now it's going to be Sawyer Farr, 2 down, bases loaded, no score in the first. Here's the first pitch, and the switch hitter is going to take a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Kill at third, Muma second, Clark at first. Clark this season hitting .341. On base with frequency. Here's no 1 pitch. It's going to be a slider clipping the outside edge, 0-2. And that's starting to get the crowd involved here at Sinsheimer Park. A very nice facility here for the SLO Blues. Probably about half capacity, but it's a very big capacity here at Sinsheimer Park. Here is an 0-2 pitch down in the dirt. Great cover by Cam Andrews. That ball was a fastball directly in front of the plate, able to cover it well to keep the runners at bay. Bases filled with Forsters, only 2 down in the first inning. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Sawyer Farr, misses upstairs. 2-2. If Sawyer's able to reach, Caden Miller, the man who is playing in his first Forster ball game, stands on deck. Hunter Hammond, the starter for the SLO Blues, the 2-2 pitch, misses upstairs. It was a fastball. Full count. That's something that Farr has done so well this season. His discipline at the plate. He's got 13 walks, one of the best on the entire team. Everyone's going to be on the move. Bases loaded, 2 out, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. Slider swing and a miss. Hunter Hammond gets out of the jam. The bases were loaded, only a single out, and the Blues will go to the bottom of the first inning scoreless against the Santa Barbara Foresters.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, California, going to the bottom of the first inning. No score against the Blues and the Sturs. Bryce Navarre will get the start today for Santa Barbara. The left-hander from Montgomery, Texas, will be his 3rd start of the season so far this year for Bryce. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which have been earned. He has walked 11 and struck out 7. Second appearance of the year, the 3rd for Bryce. And here's the defense behind the starting lefty. Easton Muma will be at 3rd. Coleman Ryan is at short. Sawyer Farr at second base. Caden Miller is at first. Cole Chamberlain will do the catching. Maddox Mandino is in left. Terrence Kill is in center. And Brenton Clark is out in right for Santa Barbara. Navarre's going to face the top 3, Royal, Ardois, and Jordan. And Santa Barbara unable to bring home the first runs of the ball game in the top half of the first. Had the bases loaded, only a single out, and then back-to-back strikeouts from Hunter Hammond, the starting slow pitcher. But here is E.J. Royal, the center fielder who is hitting .308 so far this year, will lead off the bottom of the first inning. Bryce Navarre, the 6'1" lefty, winds up the first pitch, and the fastball is going to be on the outside edge. A delayed strike call from our plate umpire, but it is in there for strike 1. The Sturs are wearing their all-gray uniforms today. The Blues in their white pinstripes. Here comes an 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Another fastball from Navarre, and he is quickly ahead 0-2 against the leadoff man for the Blues. No score in the bottom of the first inning. Here is the leadoff man who has to shorten up. Bats from the right side, and Bryce Navarre winds up the 0-2 pitch to E.J. Royal. It's a big curveball, will miss high and away for ball 1. When these teams last played on Sunday, Royal went 1 for 5. And another fantastic pitching performance from the Sturs. Here's a 1-2 pitch and sprayed over behind the stands on the first base side of the park. Remains a ball and 2 strikes. When you look at Sinsheimer Park, you have elevated stadium seats 5 rows deep, and then you have a grass berm surrounding those stadium seats in a horseshoe shape. But now the 1-2 pitch, curveball away, 2-2. The majority of the stadium seats currently filled. The berm relatively empty. Some sprinkled families throughout the grass berm. But the leadoff man will now see a 2-2 pitch, and a slider will miss well away, and a good grab from Chamberlain. Catcher today, granted no one is on base. Navarre was ahead 0-2 on the leadoff man Royal, but count is now full. Here comes a payoff pitch to the leadoff man. Fastball is sprayed back behind home plate and over the heads of the grass berm, and bounces and kangaroos itself to the back edge of the property. It remains 3-2. To follow Royal will be Artois and then Jordan. And Navarre looks to start off the day on the right foot. Was ahead 0-2. Working from the first base side of the hill. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. In there, called strike 3. And it looked like the changeup from Bryce Navarre to get Royal looking 1 down in the first. One away and the base is clear, and that's going to bring up Sam Ardois, the shortstop today for Dean Traynor and the SLO Blues. The history between these two teams going back a long time, and if you're with us on our home broadcast on Sunday, know the history of just the managers and how well these two teams are coached. Here comes the first pitch. It's a slider missing upstairs to the right-handed batter of Ardois. Ball 1. Infield straight away, as is the outfield. Navarre, after striking out the first man, winds up the 1-0 pitch. Fastball will miss away at the knees to Sam Ardois for ball 2. Ardois hitting .292 this year, but slugging .542. Some good pop in the bat with the right-handed hitter. He's ahead 2-0. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. The fastball blazes past him for strike 1. We said it on Sunday. Essentially the start of the series. These two teams will get to know each other very well this week. Here comes now a 2-1 as the slider is going to miss upstairs for ball 3 to Ardois. These teams will play tomorrow, on Saturday, and also on Sunday. And on Sunday, we said 5 in the next 6 for the Sturs. Going to be against the SLO Blues, playing in Game 2 of essentially a 5-game series this week. Here comes a 3-1 pitch to Ardois. Misses upstairs. The fastball for ball 4. And a 1-out walk for Ardois. First base runner of the day for the Blues. One on, 1 out. No score in the bottom of the first. That's going to bring up Donovan Jordan. Jordan hitting .339. He bats from the right side and gets a copious amount of signals from the third base coach. Navarre has to work around a 1-out walk. Relatively small lead at first for Ardois. Now here comes the first pitch. The fastball is going to miss inside and upstairs to Jordan for ball 1. To follow Jordan will then be Tollerman for San Luis Obispo. 1 on, 1 out. No score. Navarre looks to first base and will throw over there. And remember, Caden Miller is now our first baseman today. First start of the season for Caden Miller as the shortstop. Coleman Ryan recently getting active and getting their first action today for Bill Pintard and the Foresters. There comes now a 1-0 pitch, and the right-handed batter rolls one over to second base. This has potential. Favre will flip to second, and they get the force out. There's a big plume of smoke as Ardois slid in feet first. It was real close. That ball was not hit hard as Favre had to charge in from second. He flips to Coleman Ryan to get the force out and the second out in the first. Donovan Jordan will reach on a fielder's choice. But Bryce Navarre does well to induce the ground ball, and that's going to bring up the number 4 batter, Zach Tollerman. He will bat from the right side against the lefty starter. Man at first, now 2 down, no score, bottom of 1. Here comes the first pitch to Tollerman. It's going to be a slider missing away at the knees for ball 1. We touched on it on Sunday's broadcast, how dominant Santa Barbara pitching has been in recent weeks. As a check over to the man at first base, as Donovan Jordan is back in head first. But the last 4 games for Santa Barbara, the pitching staff has averaged 15 strikeouts a game. Unbelievable numbers from the Forester pitching staff. Here's a 1-0. Fastball is turned on down the left field line. It's drawing, and it will go foul. That ball was cranked, but drawing well foul off the bat of Tollerman, and that ball was launched and scorched. That probably cleared the fence by 30 feet, but foul. And Tollerman is slugging .688 this year. He has 1 home run, and that ball absolutely had the distance down the left field line, but it is now 1-1. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball, and it's in there for a strike, 1-2. Navarre looks to get out of this inning unscathed and keep it a scoreless ball game to the second. Jordan remains at first, 2 out in the inning. Navarre, deep breath on the hill, glares to first. 1-2 delivery will miss down low. Likely the splitter from Navarre, who works in a 6-pitch mix, dominant with the 4-seam, sweeper, and changeup. But we have seen a decent amount of curveballs today as well. 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch is inside. It skips, and it's going to hit the batter. Yes, Tollerman, there looked like there was a little bit of confusion, but Tollerman was clipped on the left ankle. Hit by a pitch to put 2 on, 2 out in the first.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
Now first and second, 2 down. It's Cole Chamberlain, the catcher, trotted out to chat with Bryce Navarre. And if you're just joining us late, the Stars had the bases loaded in the top half of this inning, only a single out, but then back-to-back strikeouts by the starter for the SLO Blues, Hunter Hammond, to get out of the inning unscathed. And it is a scoreless game, and now the SLO Blues will look to change that bottom of the first with Logan Hart now at the plate. He does bat from the left side, so a lefty-lefty matchup, first and second, 2 away. And here comes the first pitch now from Bryce as he looks to second and fires home. Fastball is fouled back directly behind the plate at the bottom half of the screen for strike 1. Sinsheimer Stadium continuing to fill in. The majority of the stadium seats is completely filled, and grass berm about a quarter of the way full. This place can get packed with capacity of over 2,000 when they squeeze them in. Here's 0-1. It's going to be a slider in there for a strike. Well done from Bryce to get ahead 0-2 against Logan Hart. Jordan at second, Tollerman at first for the SLO Blues, and the starter for Santa Barbara looking to get out of this inning, keep it a scoreless game to the second. In this lefty-lefty matchup, another look back to second. 0-2 pitch. That's going to miss down a slider. Ball 1. And after the loss on Sunday, the Stars, it was just a 1-run game into the 9th inning, then conceded 2 runs. An error in the inning plagued them to allow 1 run to come in. Then the Blues were able to tack on another one. But what will be the response today from Santa Barbara? Is Navarre with 2 on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch, and that's sprayed on top of the third base dugout, foul. And ricochets its way down the left field line off the bat of Logan Hart. Remains 1-2. Navarre comes set. Will deal the 5th pitch of this plate appearance to Logan Hart. Looks to second, fires home. Slider is in the left center, right center field. It's going to be a base hit. Jonathan Jordan from second will come in to score, and it's going to be an RBI single, and SLO take the first lead of the ball game, 1-0 in the bottom of the first. The runner from first, Tollerman, advances to third base, and Logan Hart was behind in the count. A base hit in right center. No chance for either Brenton Clark in right or Terrence Kill in center to make a play. And it will continue the inning with 2 out for Brendan Comerford. SLO now leading 1-0 over Santa Barbara. Comerford hitting .256. He's brought home 4 runs this season, first and third, 2 away. Here comes the first pitch. Big swing and a miss late on the fastball. Strike 1. Comerford bats from the right side. Third baseman today for SLO. It's now the objective for Navarre. Limit the damage to just 1 run. Here's the 0-1, and the fastball will miss down for ball 1. In this inning, the Blues gotten their base runners via a walk. Jordan, who scored, reached on fielder's choice, a hit batter, and a hit for San Luis Obispo. Here's the 1-1. Sliders down the left field line. It's a base hit, but going into the corner, looking for 2. 1 run in, and from first base, Tollerman is getting waved home. The throw down will be cut off, and a double for Comerford to bring home 2 runs. It is now 3-0 San Luis Obispo.
U-Score pricing continues thanks to Injectors Direct and Club Cannon for special effects. Nothing ball game, and Blues baseball is brought to you.
Brendan Comerford bringing home a pair of runs. 3-0 now San Luis Obispo. All of this coming with 2 out. And here comes Scott Murray. And you see some jackets now coming off for Santa Barbara down the bullpen, down the left field line. We were told today by Scott Murray that Noah Waldeck would be the first man out of the pen, and he just ripped off his jacket. All right-handers available today after Navarre, the lefty, gets the start. It is Waldeck who pulled off the jacket. There are a bunch of other guys that are available in situations where you need to get out of a jam, but Waldeck now winding up that right arm. And Scott Murray, the pitching coach, having the conversation with the entire battery. Chamberlain will trot back behind the plate. Now 3-0 the lead for San Luis Obispo. Comerford has his 5th and 6th RBIs of the year. And San Luis Obispo, they pick up right where they left off. They put up 2 runs in the 9th against the Sturs on Sunday to claim a 5-2 victory, and now find themselves ahead 3-0 in the first. Batter is now Gavin Smith. Here comes the first offering. It's a fastball sprayed back into the screen directly behind the plate for strike 1. Smith, the DH, bats from the right side against the lefty Navarre. Man at second, Comerford has a pretty good lead as Sawyer Farr, the second baseman, partially holds on to him. Here's the 0-1, is a fastball floated into right center field, and that ball is going into the wall and going to second base, but Smith trips up. It's going to bring home a run. Comerford will score with ease. Gavin Smith was thinking 2, slipped as he was rounding first base, but is now a 4-0 ball game. Gavin Smith, a base hit in the right center, a 4-0 ball game, bottom of 1. Three straight hits for the SLO Blues. And the batter will now be Cam Andrews, the 8th man to stand in at the plate. And the trainer came out and is currently talking to the runner at first base, Gavin Smith. He's probably about a third of the way down to second base, took a wide turn, lost his footing, the traction. Something happened and took a spill on the turn, and he's going to be okay. Trainer goes back to the first base dugout, and it was likely going to be 2 bases for Gavin Smith. That ball would have been close at second. Ball was deep enough in the right center to make it a double. But here's Cam Andrews to bat from the right side as the music is still playing, and the home plate umpire calling time, allowing time for the music to be shut off here at Sinsheimer Stadium. 4 runs in for the SLO Blues in the first inning. Navarre will wind up the first pitch to Cam Andrews. Here it is. Fastball's up the middle, off the back of Bryce. Farr will charge in from second, but reaching is Cam Andrews. I think that ball hit in front of the hill. Bryce had his back to the plate, and it deflected square off of his back. Slowed it down, no chance for the infield, and it's going to be an infield single. And just extremely unlucky for Bryce Navarre. Induced the ground ball. Granted, it was hard hit, but likely Coleman Ryan wouldn't be able to make a play. The shortstop behind the second base bag and hit square off the back of the pitcher. He is okay to bring up the 9th batter of the inning. It's first and second, 2 out. And here comes the first pitch to Diego Murillo. It's going to be a slider, nub down the first baseline, stays fair. Caden Miller moves in and will trot over to first to touch the base and retire the side, but slow. Push home 4. Through 1, the Blues on top the Sturs by 4 in San Luis Obispo.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
On to the second inning. San Luis Obispo through 1 have a 4-0 lead over Santa Barbara. Bottom 3 will be scheduled for the Sturs. Caden Miller, Caleb Hoover, and Coleman Ryan. 2 Santa Barbara Foresters will make their first plate appearances of the season. Here is Caden Miller to bat from the left side as the right-hander Hunter Hammond remains on the hill. Here comes the first pitch, and the fastball is going to miss down and in to the lefty for ball 1. Caden Miller plays for UTSA, that is University of Texas San Antonio. Recently got here to Santa Barbara, and what a year it was for Miller. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. He's going to see a changeup away for ball 2. Hit 280, but slugged 487, 8 home runs, brought home 41 runs this past year with UTSA, and it's a big season for UTSA as a whole. Here's a 2-0. And that off-speed pitch is going to miss away for ball 3 at the knees. Tim Miller reached base for the first time in his first plate appearance of the summer. Hoover to follow. Hammond, the 3-0 pitch. That fastball is located down the middle for strike 1. The big thing for Santa Barbara You lost the game on Sunday. You had a great chance in the first. Bases loaded, only a single out. What's your response after giving up 4 runs? Here's a 3-1. Ball 4 misses upstairs. Fastball missing from Hunter Hammond. And a leadoff walk for Caden Miller. First plate appearance of the summer, results base on balls. That's going to bring up Caleb Hoover, the DH today for Bill Pintard. Caleb against the Blues. On Sunday, he was able to get on base once via a walk. Stands in with Miller at first, nobody out. Top of the second. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a slider in there for a strike. 0-1. Caleb hitting .205. Granted, he is missing a couple of hits from that Pasadena game that got called due to daylight and the stadium lights getting flicked off. So it's a bit higher than that. Here's an 0-1, and the off speed is in there at the knees. Hoover thought that ball was low, but it is in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that's in there on 3 pitches. Hoover will go down looking. That was a great frame job by Cam Andrews. It looked a little low, able to drag it back up into the zone, and Hoover will go down looking on 3 pitches, 1 out in the second. So Miller remains at first. Hoover will strike out, and that's going to bring up Coleman Ryan, another new face for the Foresters. His first start of the summer. He is the shortstop today for Bill Pintard. Here's the first pitch. The slider is in there for strike 1. Ryan plays for Texas Tech. At .248 this past year, on base percentage of .346. But he stands in at an 0-1 count. Man at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch, and the fastball is located quickly ahead, 0-2. And after that walk, Hammond has locked in. Walked Miller on 5, struck out Hoover on 3, and here comes an 0-2 pitch to Coleman Ryan. Is a slider chopped over left side. Comerford, the third baseman, charges in, goes to first for the second out. Down to second, Miller, 2 down in the second. It is a productive out for Coleman Ryan, advancing Miller down to the second base bag. Brendan Comerford likely a prudent play as the third baseman charged in. He was kind of leaning towards home plate. Would have been tough to contort himself to throw down to second to try to turn 2 or at least get the force out. But they do get the second now as the lineup will turn over for the first time today. Santa Barbara trail 4-0 in the top of the second. Here's the first pitch to Maddox as the fastball is located high in the zone for strike 1. Caden Miller, runner at second for Santa Barbara. Mandino 0 for 1 today, fly out into left first time up. 0-1 pitch is a changeup away up the belt height, 1-1. Stars playing their 14th game this evening. SLO playing in their 16th CCL game and their 23rd game overall. Here comes a 1-1 pitch as Mandino will spit on it, misses high. The slider missing upstairs for ball 2. The wind has settled down just a little bit, blowing pole to pole, right to left. Here comes a 2-1 to Mandino. Fastball misses upstairs for ball 3. And at second, 2 away. The Blues, after a 4-run first inning, have a 4-run advantage. Can Santa Barbara claw one back? Runner at second. 3-1 pitch is away. Ball 4. And Mandino is aboard. Fastball couldn't be located by Hammond, and the second walk given up in this inning by the SLO Blues starter. Here comes Dean Schrainer, strolls his way out of the first base dugout. The batter will be Terrence Kill, but it's now first and second, 2 down. And remember, Noah Waldeck took the jacket off and started warming up and throwing down the Forster bullpen. We'll see what happens in terms of the arm that will take the hill in the second inning. Bryce Navarre got the start. 4 runs came around. And the longtime manager for the SLO Blues will retreat back to the first base dugout, talking with the entire infield, as it will be a righty-righty matchup against Hammond and Kill. And Terrence last week hit .379, touched on his OPS of over 800, notably that walk-off hit against Orange County in the middle of the week. Big week for the center fielder. First time up, he was hit by a pitch, and that's kind of been a regular occurrence. Kill's been hit by a lot of pitches so far this year, and good to see him okay on every occasion. But a man at second, here comes the first pitch. That's going to miss down low for ball one from Hammond. If Kill's able to reach, Easton Mumaw will be next. But Maddox Mandino worked the walk at first. Miller now at second. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And the fastball will miss away at the knees for ball two to Terrence Kill. Shadows still getting a little bit longer from the stadium lights and the trees and the pine trees behind the first base dugout. First and second, 2 out, 2-0 pitch as Kill will take on a slider. Kind of checked his swing halfway down, but it was a called strike 2 and 1. And the Stars get a run back after conceding 4 runs. There goes the man at second base. Here's a high pop-up behind the press box and on top of the press box. So that is now strike 2 on Terrence Kill. The runners were taking off. They'll have to retreat back to their respective bases. It is now 2-2 on Kill. Miller at second, Mandino at first, 2 down, top of 2. 4-0 the Blues lead. As Hunter Hammond looks to third base, comes home, the 2-2 pitch. It's on the ground to the third baseman, fields it cleanly, and Comerford will just trot to third base to record the force out. And a pair stranded on the bases. Already through 2 times for the Stars, they have left 5 on base through 1.5. SLO on top, 4-0 over Santa Barbara.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, bottom of the second inning. The Blues have a 4-0 lead over the Santa Barbara Foresters, and there will be a pitching change. Bryce Navarre, the starter, will go 1, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1. That's going to bring in the reliever, Noah Waldeck. And Waldeck will face the top 3, Royal, Ardois, and Jordan, to be scheduled for the SLO Blues. Now that we are into the bullpen, Waldeck will be the first man out. We're instructed by Scott Murray that Nick Abraham will be second, Ethan O'Neill third, and Andrew Gardino 4th man out of the bullpen. But here comes the first pitch to Ethan Royal, and the right-hander Waldeck will dish a first pitch strike, 0-1. Now that you open up the bullpen carousel in the second inning, might be a little bit of a different strategy, see how long these guys can go. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and it's in there, another fastball, 0-2. So quickly Noah Waldeck ahead, no balls, 2 strikes on E.J. Royal, who struck out looking against Navarre in the first. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's sprayed down and over the first base dugout, out of the entire complex. Remains 0-2. Ardois to follow, and then Jordan. And Waldeck working with a pretty quick tempo on the hill. Comes set, and already the 0-2 pitch is a slider away for ball 1. Here comes now the 1-2 pitch as the fastball is chopped to the left side. The third baseman will charge in. Muma tried to barehand it, but the batter will reach. Royal is aboard. 3 Forsters converged on the left side of the infield. The shortstop, Coleman Ryan, Easton Muma, and also the pitcher. And in the stadium, they're going to give that an infield hit. So the leadoff man is aboard with an infield single. But Muma tried to barehand, and remember, we see Muma sometimes at third range over and plays that are going to go into the hole. Cuts it off, but that one was more soft hit, spiked in front of the dirt, and he had the best chance of making the play at first, but just couldn't field it. Here comes the first pitch now to Ardois, down and away, a fastball for ball 1. So E.J. Royal aboard for the first time today, and the Blues, after bringing 9 batters around and 4 runs in the first, have their leadoff man on. There he goes. He takes off. It's a ground ball. Right side, Farr will go to first base. He was going to cover second. It likely would have been an easy double play. It was a soft hit grounder, but Ardois will ground out 4-3 as Sawyer Farr, you saw the second baseman ranging to his right, going to cover second, but then had to go back towards the infield, field that ball, and make the play at first. So Ethan Royal, who was at first, advances on the ground out to second. 1 away, man on second to bring up Donovan Jordan to bat from the right side. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a fastball down for ball 1. Jordan reached on a fielder's choice, scored the first of the 4 runs for the Blues in the last inning. They lead 4-0 now in the bottom of the second. Royal at second base, and Waldeck looks to second. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball right down the chute, 1-1. Noah's last appearance was on the 18th, the walk-off game for Santa Barbara over Orange County in the 9-8 victory. Was the third man out of the bullpen. Through 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs. It was really good work from Waldeck. Here's a 1-1. Big swing on the slider for strike 2. To follow Jordan will be Tollerman, but the Blues look to tack on their 5th run of the ball game with an RBI sitting at second base for Jordan. But he has to shorten up. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Runner takes off. It's in there. No, it's going to miss inside as Chamberlain sprung up trying to gun down the runner at third base. Didn't have a clean transfer. That last pitch missed for ball 2. Initially, I thought it was in there for called strike 3. And Chamberlain, not a clean transfer as Ethan Royal, a stolen base to get to third, and that opens up a whole lot of options now for Jordan if he can just elevate as the infield will now move in. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and it's sprayed over the first base dugout. Out of the complex, remains 2-2. So the infield in, playing straight away, and the outfield playing in the middle of the grass. 1 out, man at third. 2-2 pitch, and it's going over the head of Jordan. He ducked underneath. It looked like the slider that just started out wide from Waldeck, and that ball went directly over the helmet of Donovan Jordan, who ducked underneath it. The count is now full. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and that is just tapped back off the mask of Chamberlain. Just a grazing blow off the barrel, and That ball ricocheting to the third base side of the park, foul. It's a 4-0 lead for the Blues. Bottom of the second, they have a runner at third, one out. Donovan Jordan stands in from the right side with the infield in. Here comes a 3-2 pitch from Waldeck. It's popped up and going back into the seats, but maybe a chance for Chamberlain, and it is just 2 rows deep into the stadium seats on the third base side of the park. Remains full. Follow Jordan will be Tollerman. It's currently 4-0 SLO. And Waldeck, who did not start this game, even though we are just in the second inning, takes over for Bryce Navarre, who started this contest. With the infield in, man at third. One out. Here comes another 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled back off the mask again of Cole Chamberlain. Remains 3-2. This will be now the 10th pitch of the plate appearance for Donovan Jordan. Waldeck coming set. And the payoff pitch is down the left field line, drawing, and that ball is fair down into the corner. Jordan is going to second base cruising. RBI double, and SLO now leads 5-0 over the Sturs.
Once again, $3 Miller Lights, $4 field recording line. A 5-0 ball game.
5-0 the lead, and that is now the 6th hit of the contest for the Blues. E.J. Royal had the infield single that could have been probably scored as an error depending on who's scoring and how you look at it. But he is brought home by Donovan Jordan. The batter will now be Zach Tollerman. 5-0 the lead for SLO just in the bottom of the second. Waldeck looks to gather himself, looks to second, fires home. First pitch to Tollerman will miss inside for ball 1. Tollerman was hit by a pitch in the last inning. Jordan just scored the first run of the inning. He is now at second after the double into left. Here comes the 1-0, and the fastball is on the outside edge of 1-1. Said in the last inning, but the last 4 games, how strong the pitching has been for Santa Barbara. Extremely strong. So now the 1-1 pitch is a slider in the left field line, and moving in is Mandino. A diving catch, but it falls. Mandino looked like he was shifting back initially, had to readjust. That ball was in the web, and he was diving towards home plate, kind of sprawled his arm out at a right angle. Wasn't coming on square to the baseball. And as he fell, that ball squirted out of his glove. And that is now the 7th hit of the ball game through an inning and a third. To put runners on the corners. A run in and only 1 out in the bottom of the second.
The left fielder Logan Hart for the Blues.
And will go down as a hit. Into left. The batter will now be Logan Hart. 5-0 the Blues lead. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be missing away. It's a changeup from Waldeck. Ball 1. Don't see anyone in the pen, but we were told that Nicky Abraham be the next man out. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss late on the fastball for Hart to even the count at 1. Jordan is at third, who had the double to bring home the first run of the inning. Tollerman now at first. Just 1 down in the second. Waldeck, 1-1 pitch is a fastball missing down for ball 2. Logan Hart today, who bats from the left side. He's 1 for 1. Base hit in the right center with a RBI. So Waldeck fires a 2-1 pitch. It's going to miss away for ball 3. Second base is open. Brendan Comerford will be next for the SLO Blues. First and third, one down. Looking for a ground ball. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Full count. Hart was late on the fastball. It's now 3-2. And half the hill now encompassed by shadows from the pine trees to our right. Waldeck standing in the sunshine portion of the pitcher's mound. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's foul back halfway up the screen, just to the left of the dish. Remains 3-2 to Logan Hart. Jordan at third, Tollerman at first for San Luis Obispo. One away. Looking for a ground ball or at least a big second out. Another 3-2 pitch. That is away, ball 4. Hart works a walk to load up the bases for San Luis Obispo.
Heading now for the Blues, third baseman Brendan Comerford.
That's going to bring up the number 6 batter, Brendan Comerford. Bases filled with Blues. Waldeck trying to get out of this inning, limiting the damage. 1 run in. Here comes the first pitch. It's a chopper, slow roller left side. Here comes Ryan. Throws to first to get the out, but a run's going to come in to score. Comerford will ground out 6-3. It's going to plate Jordan. It is now 6-0 SLO in the second. That ball was not hit hard. Smart play from Ryan, getting the insured second out. Comerford's going to pick up an RBI. 6-0 SLO in the second. It's now second and third for Gavin Smith, 2 away. Here's the pitch. It's going to miss upstairs on an off speed for ball 1. 4 runs in the first, 2 now in the second for San Luis Obispo. Gavin Smith already has an RBI single today. Here's a 1-0. And it's off the end of the bat towards the first base on deck circle for strike 1. In the third, the Stars will have Mumma, Clark, and Chamberlain. That is 3, 4, and 5 scheduled. Second and third, 2 out. Waldeck, the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and miss on the fastball to Gavin Smith for strike 2. His RBI single was in right center field. Noah Waldeck working from the first base side of the hill. Winds up the 1-2 pitch and spray behind home plate over the screen out of the entire complex. It remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Gavin Smith. Second and third. 2 down. Waldeck, the 1-2 pitch. That is called strike 3. Fastball on the outside edge to retire the side. But 2 more runs in for the Blues. Through 2. SLO on top 6-0 over Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just 1 stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. Starting off the third inning will be Easton Mumont to lead off for the Sturs as Hunter Hammond remains in this ball game. The starting pitcher for the SLO Blues, 6-0. The Blues advantage over Santa Barbara. Here comes the first pitch to Easton. It's going to be a fastball fouled back halfway up the screen directly behind the plate for strike one. Easton has the lone hit, an infield single so far today for Santa Barbara. The Blues already have 7 knocks. Here comes the 0-1 and change up away for ball one. 6-0 the lead for the Blues. 4 runs in the first, 2 in the second. And Santa Barbara just gets some base runners. Here's the 1-1. As away, another changeup for ball 2. And the issue hasn't been the base runners. The Sturs left 3 stranded in the first, 2 stranded in the second. They were getting men on, just couldn't bring them home. Here's a 2-1. As sliders in there for a strike, 2-2. Mumont, who bats from the left side against the right-handed pitcher, will now see a 2-2 pitch. Changeup is lined straight to the third baseman. Soft hit, and Cumberford didn't have to react too quickly or move his feet. Mumont will be the first victim in the third inning.
Batting on number 6, Brenton Clark.
Easton retired, and that's going to bring up Brenton Clark. Bases clear, 1 away. Blues by 6. Clark today has worked to walk. Now see the first pitch from Hammond. Inside, kind of shimmied his hands up and his hips back. That is ball 1. To follow Clark will be Cole Chamberlain on a very nice evening from Central California. Here's a 2-0. 2-1. A 1-0, rather. Excuse me, but that's in there for a strike, 1-1. Sun getting a little bit lower down the skies to our right. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Clark squares around to bunt, pulls it back, and the fastball will miss away. Nice take from Brenton for ball 2. Bases clear, 1 down, Blues by 6. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Clark, no bunt this time, but will spray over the third base dugout. Out of play, and a ricochet is off the top of the backstop, I should say. The screen surrounding the infield. But it is 2-2. Here comes the pitch, and that is going to be down on the slider from Hunter Hammond. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Brenton Clark. Infield straight away. The center fielder, Royal, shading a portion into the gap in left. Here's a 3-2. It's into that left center gap beneath J. Royal. Long run over, and will make the squeeze. 2 down in the third. Hammond finding a nice rhythm in his start. Just the second start of the year. Entering today, the starter for the Blues, a 2.57 ERA. He has struck out 3 so far. He's now struck out 9 on the season. 2 down, bases clear. Here comes the first pitch to Chamberlain. We'll see a slider down for ball 1. Blues lead 6-0. Just in the top of the third. Santa Barbara with a couple new components in this lineup today for Bill Pintard. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball will miss upstairs. Ball 2. Miller and Coleman Ryan. 2 pieces that Bill Pintard is very excited for, especially on the defensive end with Ryan. Fantastic shortstop from Texas Tech. Meanwhile, the 2-0 pitch is lifted in the shallow left by Cole Chamberlain. Drifting into foul ground now as Brendan Cumberford fights the wind and will make the squeeze halfway down the left field line. The third baseman makes the squeeze in foul ground, and it is a 1-2-3 third for Hunter Hammond. Bottom of the inning we go. 8-9-1 will be coming up for the Blues, who lead by 6.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of the third inning, Noah Waldeck remains in this ball game, the first reliever out of the bullpen for Santa Barbara. He will face Cam Andrews, Diego Murillo, and E.J. Royal coming up for the SLO Blues. We have a 6-0 advantage over the Santa Barbara Foresters. 4 runs in the first, 2 in the second. Gavin Smith was a final out in the second, and Cam Andrews, who has an infield single, bats from the right side, stands in for the second time. First pitch is a fastball late on it, swinging away and missing for strike 1. And Andrews had that infield single that deflected off the back of Bryce Navarre. Here's a 0-1, and that's sprayed over the first base dugout, back out of the property for strike 2. This is something that hasn't happened to the Foresters. Typically, they score a lot of runs early in the ball game. Don't concede too many. Here comes an 0-2 pitch, and it's back into the screen, lined directly behind the plate. And that protective screen remains 0-2. Really uncharted territory for Santa Barbara. Last 3 games, they've been the team to score first. They took an early deficit to the Waves, but then came back and won. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a slider rolled over to second base. Sawyer Farr charges in, fields it cleanly, double clutches. The throw is just in time. It looked like he didn't have a clean grip on that baseball, but records the out at first. Andrews be retired 4-3 for the first out.
The second baseman, Diego Murillo.
When you look at the first 13 games being played for Santa Barbara, not really have they ever gone down in a deficit such as 6-0. Of course, you go down to runs certain parts in the game, but especially not early. It's going to be a different feeling for Santa Barbara. But here comes the first pitch to the next batter as it's sawed off into the first base bullpen for strike 1. There's Diego Murillo to bat from the right side against the right-hander, Noah Waldeck. Grounded out to first time up. Base is clear, 1 out. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball is just tapped foul off of his foot. Rolls in front of home plate, but it was foul for strike 2. Waldeck is now retired 3 straight. Diego Murillo, his second plate appearance, has to shorten up. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on the fastball inside. He is tagged out and retired by Cole Chamberlain behind the plate. 2 up, 2 down for Noah Waldeck in the third. Good fastball on the inside edge. Deucing the swing from Murillo, and that is the second K of the day for Waldeck. And that's going to bring up for the third time this ball game E.J. Royal. He has struck out looking. Infield single, he has scored a run. And yet his second look, Noah Waldeck. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the outer half for a strike, 0-1. Waldeck is now retired 4 straight. Coming off that nice outing on the 18th. Winds up the 0-1 pitch, induces a swing. It is fouled off the end of the bat, behind the plate, into the screen for strike 2. And once again, Waldeck finds himself ahead in the count, finding his rhythm. Good to see for the first man out of the bullpen for the Sturs. 0-2 pitch, check swing, and that ball ricochets off the barrel into Cole Chamberlain, and Chamberlain immediately lost the mask, put his forehead down on the dirt. That ball was fouled down somewhere near the hips area or down near the stomach, and the trainer comes out of the first base dugout. He ushers him back. He says he's okay, but couldn't tell where that hit him. Initially didn't even think it touched the barrel, but just glanced off the bottom of the bottom of E.J. Royal's barrel and hit Chamberlain likely somewhere in the lower stomach. Plate umpire gives him a moment. It remains 0-2 with 2 down. The base is clear. Blues lead 6-0, bottom of the third. All deck, 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. It was the slider, and it was a good one. Back-to-back Ks for Noah, and the side retired. Through 3, Blues by 6.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
There's a 6-0 advantage for the SLO Blues onto the 4th inning, and Santa Barbara has work to do. They'll have Sawyer Farr, Caden Miller, and Caleb Hoover scheduled in the top of 4. Here comes the first pitch. It's popped up and just over the third base dugout, over 5 rows of stadium seats and into the grass berm down the third baseline for strike 1 on Sawyer. Hunter Hammond, the right-hander from Westmont, remains on the bump, the starter for the Blues. And he will now fire an 0-1 pitch to Sawyer Farr. It's a slider. Farr checks his swing. Did he go? No, he did not. On the appeal down our third base umpire, that is ball 1. Sawyer today is struck out, just standing in for the second time today. 6-0 the Blues lead. 1-1 to the leadoff man. It's going to be a changeup away at Bell Tight for ball 2. Nobody tossing down that right field bullpen for the SLO Blues with this starter. Remember, Hammond's only pitched 7 innings so far this year. Comes a 2-1 pitch, located nicely on a slider on the inner half, 2-2. Both pitchers had a 3-up, 3-down third inning. Here comes a 2-2 pitch, chopped a high hopper back to the mound, but going over to the first base side as the pitcher fields it, and the flip to first will be in time. And Farr will be retired 1-3. And that chopper was fielded more halfway between first base and the hill. And the starter, Hammond, strolled his way off the bump, able to toss it over to the first baseman, Tollerman, for the first out in the 4th.
This is number 4,
Blues lead 6-0. That's going to bring up Caden Miller to bat from the left side. 1 away, and the base is clear. Here comes the first pitch from Hammond. Fastball is going to miss down, skip past the catcher for ball 1. Miller in his first plate appearance as a Forster worked a walk, then was eventually retired on a force out down at third base for the final out in the 2nd. So we've seen Miller and Ryan, the 2 new components in this lineup today for Santa Barbara, but you look at the stir bus on the way up here to San Luis Obispo, but here comes a 1-0. It's going to miss high for ball 2. The bus is packed as we have seen it all year long. You stand in a couple rows into the bus, you turn around, it's a sea of faces, way more than what we have seen throughout this entire year, and the roster is only getting deeper with big additions with the Coleman Ryan and Caden Miller today. Also on the hill as well, but now a 2-0, and the slider will miss away, and Hammond, first pitch was down in the dirt, the second one was skied over the glove of the pitch, and that one was also near the dirt. A little bit frustrated on the hill. Saw him kick the front edge of the mound. Almost like couldn't grip the baseball. But he falls behind 3-0 to Caden Miller. One down, base is clear. Here's the pitch, and that fastball will miss down low for ball 4. And Caden Miller, 2 plate appearances, 2 walks. He will reach base on balls with 1 down in the 4th. Blues by 6. And that's going to bring up Caleb Hoover.
Number 14, the designated hitter, Caleb.
And still for a Tuesday night, a very nice crowd massing here at Sinsheimer Stadium, San Luis Obispo. Relatively all the stadium seats filled. Some nice seating around the grass berm behind the seats. Here comes the first pitch. It's popped in the air down the left field line off the barrel of Caleb Hoover. Slices into the Forster bullpen for strike 1. Hoover today has struck out looking. That was actually on 3 pitches against Hammond in the second. He is now down in the count 0-1. Man at first, 1 down. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Hoover looked kind of knotted up. Tried to put on the brakes, but went around the zone. And he quickly falls behind 0-2. Remember, he bats from the left side, and it's the right-hander starter Hammond will now deal an 0-2 pitch. Fastball is in the air to left center field. Long run for Royal. The center fielder will make the squeeze on the run to retire Hoover. Runner goes back to first, 2 down in the 4th. Hoover back to the third base dugout, and that's going to bring up Coleman Ryan. Miller at first, 2 down. And remember, the Sturs have had a decent amount of base runners throughout this contest. They left 3 stranded in the first when they had the bases loaded. Only a single out. They left 2 stranded in scoring position in the second. There goes the runner. The first pitch is in there for a strike. Throw down. It's going to be close. In safely is Caden Miller. It's a fantastic throw from Cam Andrews. But Miller's able to slide in feet first. Stolen bag to get him into scoring position. Ryan did take a first pitch strike when he tried to square around to bunt. But 2 down, man at second. Comes the 0-1 pitch. This is in line in the left field and comfortably to the left fielder. Logan Hart just had to stroll 2 paces to his right, 1 step backwards to make the squeeze, and Caden Miller is left stranded in scoring position. He's gotten on base twice, stole a base, but the side retired through 3.5. The Blues on top 6-0 over the Sturs.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Forester's home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara Airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara Airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Bottom of the fourth inning, the Blues have a 6-0 advantage over the Sturs. Ardois, Jordan Tollerman will be scheduled with Noah Waldeck remaining on the hill. Here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball foul back behind the plate, halfway up the screen for strike number 1. Ardois has gone 0 for 1 today with a walk. Gets his second look at Noah Waldeck. 4 runs in the first for the Blues, 2 runs in the second. 0-1 pitch to the leadoff man. Fastball is located away to even the count at 1. There are bodies up in that third base dugout bullpen for the Sturs. Here comes the 1-1. It's rolled on the ground to second base. Sawyer Farr slides over to his right, and the throw to first. Caden Miller in time. And Sam Ardois will be retired to start off the fourth inning. 6 straight now retired by Noah Waldeck. And that's going to bring up Donovan Jordan. Gotten on base twice today, once via fielder's choice, and then had an RBI double in the left to score the first run in the second inning. Comes the first pitch. It's going to be a slider missing down for ball 1. And also Jordan plating 2 runs himself, so he is responsible for 3 of the 6 runs on the scoreboard today for the Blues, having a fantastic evening so far. At another 3-hole for Dean Traynor. Here's the 1-0. Fastball's popped up and behind the home plate. Behind the press box, and it's now 1-1. 6-0 the Blues lead. 1 down, the base is clear for Jordan, who's hitting .339 entering today. Here comes the next pitch from Noah. It's going to miss away on a slider for ball 2. We can't see the number of the man throwing down that Forster bullpen, but you have to imagine it's Nick Abraham. We were instructed to be the second man out of the pen today. Here comes a 2-1 to Jordan. Fastball's down for ball 3. And with the starter, Navarre only going 1. Hope to get Waldeck cleanly through 4. You can go to Abraham for the 5th, maybe 6th, and then go from there. Here comes a 3-1, and it's in there on a fastball. 3-2 now the count. To follow Jordan will be Tollerman and Waldeck. Scored the first out in the inning. Now the 3-2 pitch, and that's in there. Called strike 3. It looked like the changeup from Waldeck, a little off speed. He picks up his 4th K, 2 down in the 4th. And there's now 7 straight retired by Waldeck. Settling very nicely into almost a de facto start after the starter went 1. And Waldeck doing very nicely through 3 2/3. Now face Tollerman. Here comes the pitch. Fastball is down for ball 1. Tollerman today, aboard twice. He was hit by a pitch. He scored a run and a base hit in the shallow left. 2 down, base is clear. Here comes a 1-0, and that's on the inside edge, 1-1. Game 2 of the season series against the Blues and the Sturs. Blues winning game 1 on Sunday. Here comes a 1-1 and a wild swing from Tollerman. Fanning on it was a slider from Waldeck for strike 2. Waldeck already ready to go. Batter stands back into the box with 2 down. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Waldeck. Give him 5, and he is now retired 8 straight. On to the 5th. Blues by 6. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. SLO.com. Back in San Luis Obispo with the Blues, leading 6-0 over Santa Barbara. On to the 5th inning. And this 5th inning is brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Finney's has now 2 locations in Santa Barbara, one on Lower State Street and one in Goleta. Finney's is a great place to gather before or after any Foresters game. Finney's Craft House. First time the SLO Blues going to the bullpen today. Riley Marcotte will take over for Hunter Hammond as the starter. Went 4 innings, only, I should say, limited the Sturs to just a single hit. No runs, he walked 4 and struck out 2. And Marcotte, the left-handed reliever, winds up the first pitch to Maddox Mandino, swing and a miss on the slider for strike 1. Marcotte will face 1, 2, 3. Mandino kill Muma. Sturs trailing by 6, top of the 5th. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Mandino. Slider, swing and a miss again, strike 2. A very dominant lefty lineup for Santa Barbara today and really throughout this season. Now to face the lefty reliever. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's a slider down and away. Good take from Mandino. Ball 1. The Sturs' lone hit, courtesy of Easton Mumaw, scheduled in 2 batters' time, just an infield single. Mandino today is 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and this is in the air to left, drifting back. Now drifting forward is Logan Hart, reads it, fights the sun, makes the squeeze, and Mandino is retired on the flyout into left. 1 down in the 5th. Base is clear. And that's going to bring up Terrence Kill, the second. He's been hit by a pitch, then ground into a fielder's choice, which ended up ending the 2nd inning. We stood him with runners at 1st and 2nd. Infield is straight away, as is the outfield, with still a hearty breeze blowing right to left here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Comes the first pitch, and it's going to miss inside of Terrence for ball 1. Terrence does bat from the right side against the lefty, with another lefty standing on deck in the form of Easton Mumaw. But now here comes the 1-0 pitch to Terrence. Fastball is chopped up the middle. Tough play for the second baseman. Murillo ranges to his right, and a great play by the second baseman to record the second out in the 5th. Ranged all the way behind second base, did the second baseman. And a fantastic play to retire Kill, 2 down in the 5th. Blues pitching is now retired 4 straight. And Riley Marcotte off to a good start, coming in out of the pen. Top of the 5th, Blues by 6. Now 2 down in the inning to give way for Easton Mumaw. Does bat from the left side. Here's the pitch. It's a slider, swing and a miss. 0-1. Half the field now encompassed by shadows here in San Luis Obispo. There's the 0-1. And another slider that's going to miss away just below the belt. 1-1. Majority of the outfield is still in nice sunshine. We said it, Logan Hart has got the shades on out and left to fight the sun. Here's the 1-1. Fastball will miss inside for ball 2. Stadium lights have now flicked on just past 7:30 local time. But the first 2 men retired by Riley Marcotte, the lefty reliever. He winds up the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball on the outside edge for strike 2. The Sturs playing their rivals. Granted, they're not in the same division, but just separated by 2 miles of coastline. Here's the 2-2 pitch as the slider will miss away. Full count. The SLO Blues, the Foresters rivalry. You see it with UC Santa Barbara and Cal Poly. Most things with Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo. And if you look at it, there's generally a rivalry there. 2 down, 3-2 pitch. Muma will foul it off the end of the bat. Stays alive, rolls into the screen behind the plate. Mains 3-2. The Blues bested the Sturs on Sunday. 2 big runs in the 9th as the dagger make it a 3-run advantage. But right now, here comes a 3-2 pitch to Muma, and he will stay alive. He rolls it foul behind home plate again. This will now be the 8th pitch of the plate appearance for Easton. A good battle between him and Riley Marcotte. Remember, 2 lefties. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to miss upstairs. Well done by Easton to work a 2-out walk in the 5th. The fastball was missing upstairs from Marcotte. An 8-pitch walk for Easton. It's reached for the 2nd time today. That's going to bring up Brenton Clark, who also has a walk and a fly out to center. That walk by Easton, the 5th walk today, given up by San Luis Obispo pitching. Though they have limited the Sturs to just 1 hit. 6-0 the Blues lead. Here comes the first pitch to Brenton. It's going to be down and away on the slider, ball 1. A big gust just sliced through Sinsheimer Park, continuing to blow out towards the left. 1 on, 2 down. 1-0 pitch to Clark is a fastball on the inside edge. Clark doesn't think so. 1-1. It's the 3rd lefty that Marcotte is facing this inning alone, and he's got another one coming up if Clark's able to reach. In the form of Cole Chamberlain. But now the 1-1 pitch, high and tight to Brenton, leaned back. It was a high fastball for ball 2. Santa Barbara currently top the Southern Division at 10-2, with the SLO Blues in the middle of the pack in the Northern Division at 8-7. 2-1 the count to Clark, and here comes the delivery from Riley Marcotte. Slider is going to be down. Good cover. Cam Andrews, the catcher for the Blues, closes the garage doors. 3-1. Muma has 2 stolen bases this year. He's held on by the first baseman. But now the 3-1 pitch, and that nearly hits Brenton Clark. Spins out of the way, but it's going to be back-to-back walks given up by Riley Marcotte. And Brenton has his 2nd base on balls. First came in the opening inning, and now in the 5th. And bound visit for the Blues infield. No coach, as the batter will be Cole Chamberlain after back-to-back walks given up by the first reliever for the Blues. And Chamberlain is another lefty standing on, standing in. A 4th man to bat from the left side in this inning against the left-handed reliever. The 2nd now is Muma. Brenton Clark is at 1st. Mound visit complete. Everyone back to their respective positions. Riley Marcotte looks to 2nd. And here comes the first pitch to Chamberlain. It's a fastball in there. Strike 1. Marcotte's been favoring the 3rd base side of the hill. Scrapes a little dirt off the bump. Chamberlain comes set. Left-handed batter's box. Sturs trailing by 6 runs top of the 5th. They have 2 base runners. The 0-1 is a slider down. Andrews, fantastic slide to his left, knocked it down in front of him. Muma was about the 3rd of the way down to 3rd base, retreats to 2nd. When you look at what Santa Barbara's done today, just a handful of balls have left the infield. 5 to be exact, only one hit, which stayed as an infield single from Easton Mumaw. Here comes a 1-1 from Chamberlain. I should say to Chamberlain. It's foul directed behind the plate. Strike 2. Only a single hit, but now 6 walks for Santa Barbara in this game. At this point, they've left 6 stranded throughout the course of this game, not including this inning. Marcotte does little custodial duties on the hill, scrapes off the rubber, and now gets the sign from Andrews. 2 on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch, and that is away on a slider, and another great cover by Andrews sliding to his left, the catcher. 2-2. He's walked the last 2 batters. In case you're wondering, Sawyer Farr, the switch hitter, is next. Sturs look to cut into the 6-run deficit top of the 5th. Comes the 2-2 pitch, foul back into the screen, just at the top of the screen, directly behind the plate for Chamberlain. Remains 2-2. Here comes, say this next pitch will be the 6th pitch of the plate appearance for Cole. Marcotte glares back to second, brings home the 2-2 delivery, slider inside, full count. Everyone's going to be on the move. Mumaw at second, Clark at first, 2 down in the 5th. As Riley Marcotte has walked the last 2 batters he has faced. Entered this inning clean, retired the first 2. Hunches over, looks in for the signs, comes set. And here comes a 3-2 pitch, and that's inside, nearly hits Chamberlain, and 3 straight walks. Bases filled for the 2nd time today for Santa Barbara. Here comes the trainer, I should say the manager for the Blues, Dean Trainer, out of the first base dugout. Base is now filled with Foresters, and the batter will be Sawyer Farr to hit from the right side. The entire infield will be a part of this conversation with the managers for the Blues. We alluded to what happened between these 2 teams on the broadcast on Sunday when these 2 teams started and played for the first time this year. The Blues bested the Foresters 5 out of 8 times last season, so the Sturs were 3-5 against the San Luis Obispo Blues last year. And Sawyer Farr, who has been one of the most productive men with runners in front of him, stands at the plate. 13 runs batted in. That is second to just Easton Ruley, who is not starting today, who has 14. 3 straight walks by Riley Marcotte after retiring the first 2 men he faced. One swing of the bat can do a lot of damage for Santa Barbara, who trail by 6. 2 down in the 5th. Bases loaded. Here comes the first pitch. It's going to be a fastball missing down, ball 1. Sawyer today, 0 for 2, has struck out and ground out back to the hill. Infield playing back, just looking for a ground ball. Here comes a 1-0. Takes a strike on a slider, 1-1. Glove to the mouth now for Marcotte. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's chopped right back to the hill on one hopper, and Sawyer Farr will be retired at first base. And for the 2nd time this game, the Foresters leave the bases loaded, unable to bring home a run. Through 4.5, the Blues still on top 6-0 over the Sturs.
There they are. Wake up, horsies. That
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of the fifth inning, the Blues maintain a 6-0 advantage over the Sturs. Remember, this fifth inning brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Finney's is a great place to gather before or after any Forester game. Finney's Craft House. There's a new arm on the hill for the Sturs. Here comes the first pitch. It's in there for a strike, 0-1. Sam Stevens, the right-hander, will take over for Noah Waldeck to start off the fifth inning. He will face 5, 6, and 7. Here comes the 1-0 pitch now to Hart. Swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 1. Stevens now in his second appearance. His debut just a few days back on the 19th in the 4-2 victory over the San Diego Waves. Here comes the 1-1. It's going to miss inside for ball 2. Stevens was the second man out of the bullpen in that ball game on the 19th. Pitched 1 inning. Very quick 1 inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Here's a 2-1. Induces a chopper back to the hill. He ranges over off the hill. It's going to be a foot race to first base, and just able to actually apply the tag. It looked like Stevens was going to flip to Caden Miller, but then had to make a mad dash. Didn't even make a play at the base, but went to slap the glove on Logan Hart. Just able to do so to record the first out in the fifth. That ball was chopped on the first base side of the infield as it was more of a natural play for Stevens to, after his follow-through, to bound off the mound and collect that ball with one giant hop, which he did, and will go down 1 unassisted for the first out in the fifth. Batter is now Cumberford. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a slider away. Ball 1. The final line, in case you're wondering, for Noah Waldeck: 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, which were earned. He walked 1 and now struck out 5. Good work from Noah Waldeck. Comes the 1-0 pitch, and that slider's in there for a strike. 1-1. 6-0 the Blues lead, and Brendan Cumberford, a big reason why the Blues have the advantage here in this game. Comes a 1-1 pitch, and that is in there on another slider from Stevens, 1-2. Cumberford had a 2-run double in the first and also scored a run, and an RBI ground out in the second. Comes a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out. 2 down in the 5th. Now 10 straight retired by Santa Barbara pitching. Going back to Noah Waldeck in the 2nd inning. 4 runs came in the 1st inning for the Blues, 2 in the 2nd. Then after those 2 runs were given up by Waldeck, he finished his outing retiring 8 straight. Stevens picks up right where he left off, retiring his first 2. Here comes the first pitch to the next batter. It's Gavin Smith. It's in for a base hit and nearly bounds over the head of Maddox Mandino. But it will be a base hit in the left, coming with 2 out in the 5th. And that ball nearly hopped over the head of Mandino. He had to jump all the way up and use his entire frame and outstretch that glove to make sure it didn't go over his head. And it is worth noting here at Sinsheimer Stadium, pretty firm surfaces. The infield, you see any balls getting hit or people sliding into bags, pretty much big plume of dust kicks up every time. But now the first pitch to the next batter will miss inside to Cam Andrews for ball 1. Gavin Smith at first, picking up his 2nd hit of the day. 2 down, bottom of the 5th. Comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball rolled down the first baseline. Foul. It was real close. And Caden Miller, he fielded that one almost like a goalkeeper collecting a soccer ball, getting kicked back to him. And Bill Pintard saying that ball was fair. And Miller, he thought so. He dropped the knee down and was almost framing it right in front of first base, saying to the first base umpire, that ball never went foul down that first baseline. And Bill Pintard asking for a second opinion of that first base umpire, saying that was very close. And both parties come to a understanding. And it will be a foul ball. Pintard back to the third base dugout. And it is 1-1 for Cam Andrews, who's got an infield single today and a ground out to 2nd. At 2nd today is far. Coleman Ryan, a new addition at short. And Caden Miller, as we just mentioned, is at 1st in his debut. And now the 1-1 pitch, and that is down in the dirt. Good pick by Cole Chamberlain for ball 2. Sam Stevens entering this inning, who's not initially one of the 4 men listed out of the bullpen, but he will eat an inning in the 5th. 2-1. Induces a swing, a half-hearted swing on the breaking ball from Stevens for strike 2. A play down at first base as the runner was off of first and had to slide back in. There's a big plume of dust kicking up with him sliding back in head first. Heads-up play by Cole Chamberlain, the catcher, noting that the man at first base was well off of him, making a play down to Caden Miller, the Forster first baseman. But it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, and that is going to be down. Another good cover on a breaking ball from Stevens by the catcher, Cole Chamberlain. It's 3-2. Andrews working the count full. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Runner takes off. Swing and a miss. Andrews strikes out. And Sam Stevens Ks 2 in the 5th. And the Blues leave 1 stranded through 5. San Luis Obispo still on top 6-0 over Santa Barbara.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Forester's home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Top of the sixth inning with the Blues leading 6-0 over the Santa Barbara Foresters. Caden Miller, Caleb Hoover, Coleman Ryan will be coming up for the Sturs. Riley Marcotte, the man who took over in the last inning, will remain on the hill. The left-handed reliever who did walk 3 in the last inning but got out of the jam. He will start off with a lefty-lefty matchup. Here comes the first pitch. Squaring around to bunt was Miller, but he's going to pull back and take his slider for a ball. 1-0. Miller today has gone, still searching for his first AB as a Forester. He's got 2 walks. Here's a 1-0. And the slider's on the outside edge, 1-1. Miller, in plays for UT San Antonio. Hit 280 this past year, slugging 487. Here comes a 2-0 pitch, squaring around to bunt again. It's down the first baseline, but rolls its way foul. Good looking bunt, but rolls foul about 2/3 down the line. Strike 1. Not even the slugging percentage at 487. The on-base percentage with 453. So an exceptional OPS this past year for Caden Miller. And a big reason, big help to the success for UTSA this past year. With the run into the postseason. He leads off the Foresters in the top of the 6th, trailing by 6 to the Blues. And here comes the 1-2 pitch from Riley Marcotte. The pitch, it's fastball down and away, 2-2. These two teams will play again tomorrow up here at Sinsheimer Stadium. And it is worth noting the sun behind the mountains, I should say, more the rolling hills to our right. Approaching 8 o'clock local time. No more shadows being casted. The stadium lights on. And the leadoff man now see a 2-2 pitch as Miller will go down looking on the outside edge. The fastball for the first time today. Miller's retired. Marcotte picks up his first strikeout. 1 down in the 6th. We'll now have a pinch hitter coming up for Santa Barbara. Brady Dallimore will now hit for Caleb Hoover. So Dalmore to hit for the first time, one away, and the base is clear. Top of 6, Blues by 6 runs. And Brady has had a very good week. Here comes the first pitch. It's going to be down and inside for ball 1. Dalmore does bat from the right side, bringing in the right-handed hitter against the lefty Marcotte. Here comes, though, a 1-0 pitch to Brady. A fastball will miss inside for ball 2. Dalmore this past week played in 5 games, 357 average, and OPS of nearly 1,100. You will now see a 2-0 pitch that's down the right field line and slices foul and bounds its way over the fence for strike 1. 3 singles and 2 home runs. He brought home 8 runs. The man who just graduated high school. Remember, he did have a pinch hit home run a couple games back. Stands in, 1 down, the base is clear. Here's the pitch, is a slider away. It's ball 3, 3-1. Ball Dalmore will be Coleman Ryan, with Riley Marcotte falling behind on the hill. Here comes a 3-1 pitch to Brady Dalmore, and he had a big cut. It was off the end of the bat towards the first base on deck circle. It's a full count. Dalmore takes a moment, readjusts the helmet. Now our home plate umpire will wipe down the dish. There's a 3-2 count, and the surroundings here at Sinsheimer Park. Some nice rolling hills in the distance. Some nice trees as well, sprinkling their way down the right field line and in the distance. 2 big batting cages beyond the right field fence. But now the 3-2 pitch, chopped to left side. Here comes the shortstop. Ardois charges in. Tough play, but the throw will be in time. 2 down in the 6th. Ardois was playing back at short. Fielded that ball on the junction between the grass and the infield dirt. Just coming in full steam towards home plate. Nice play to retire Dalmore. 2 down in the 6th. That's going to bring up Coleman Ryan. Blues lead 6-0. Top of the 6th frame. 2 down, the base is clear for Santa Barbara. Wearing their all-gray uniforms today, the Blues, white uniforms with the blue pinstripes. There comes the first pitch now to Ryan. It's going to be a slider missing him. Ball 1. For Coleman, in his first start of the summer, ground out to third and a line out into left. Comes the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss inside fastball this time, ball 2. We touched on it in the last inning, but for Santa Barbara, they've only a single hit, no runs. They have left 9 men on base so far in this ball game. Here comes a 2-0 pitch to Ryan. That's going to miss inside. Shimmies his way back from an off speed for ball 3. Had the bases loaded with 1 out in the first. Had the bases loaded, granted with 2 out in the last. Could not bring anyone home. But Coleman Ryan ahead 3-0. Can he become a 2-out base runner for the Sturs? Here comes a pitch from Marcotte, and it's inside for ball 4 and a 4-pitch 2-out walk. Worked by Coleman Ryan, and he is aboard for the first time this summer. Though the Sturs just have 1 hit, we noted all the base runners getting left on. Hunter Hammond, the starter who went 4 innings, walked 4, and so far for Riley Marcotte, he has now walked 4, so 8 walks today for the Santa Barbara Foresters. We'll now have a pinch hitter for Maddox Mandino. Addison Klepsch now to hit for Maddox in the top spot in the order. So Ryan at first, 2 down, and here's Klepsch to hit for the first time. Klepsch bats from the right side. Mandino flip-flop of that against the lefty reliever. Here comes the first pitch. It's in there for a strike, 0-1. In case you're wondering, Mandino had a fly out to the left and worked a walk. Now Klepsch to pinch hit. Here's the 0-1. It's going to be a slider away, 1-1. Coleman Ryan, this past year at Texas Tech, 4 stolen bases. Sizable lead at first base. 2 down in the inning. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Klepsch will send it down the right field line. Foul. It's on a rope. Bounds out of play for strike 2. Should Addison Klepsch reach, Terrence Kill will be on deck for Santa Barbara. Blues lead 6-0. Man at first, 2 down. The lefty reliever, Riley Marcotte, lines up the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The fastball blazes past Klepsch to retire the side. And Coleman Riley is left on base. And we're going to the bottom of the inning. Sturs trail by 6 to the Blues.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Sam Stevens, who took over in the last, will remain in this ball game. He'll face 9-1-2, scheduled for the Blues, who have a 6-0 advantage. If you're joining us late, 4 runs in the first for SLO, tacking on 2 more in the 2nd inning. Here comes the first pitch from Sam Stevens. Fastball is fouled back over the screen and ricochets off the right side of the press box and rolls back down into the stadium seats with a swarm of kids now trying to collect the foul ball and return it for a nice prize here at Sinsheimer Stadium. But it is strike 1 on Diego Murillo. Here comes the pitch. It is going to be a fastball missing upstairs from Sam Stevens, 1-1. Murillo was named as a player of the week for what he did last week for the SLO Blues, going 4 for 10, brought home 3 runs. There's a 1-1. He spits on it, but takes a strike low in the zone by Sam, 1-2. Murillo offers a lot out of the 9 spot in the order for the Blues, hitting .535, on base percentage of .519. 1-2 pitch, swing, and that's rolled down the third baseline. It is fair. It's going to be a swinging bunt. No throw down from Sam Stevens. And Diego Murillo is aboard for the first time today. A massive swing just clipped the lower portion of the barrel. Unless they're saying that ball rolled foul and they're going to bring him back. And it looks like the plate umpire is going to say he's coming back home. And Dean Traynor coming out of the first base dugout, not too pleased that his leadoff man is going to be coming back to the plate. Currently, Murillo standing on first base, and now the entire crew will converge to talk with the Blues manager. From where it either couldn't see where it initially bounced with the batter's box pretty much depleted at this point, no chalk lines around the plate. If it went off of his foot, just played it off. That ball was fair all the way down the left field line. Pretty much went halfway down and no chance for Sam Stevens, the pitcher, or Cole Chamberlain, the catcher, to even make a play down to first. And the crew will converge and commence. Discuss this play halfway down the first baseline. And they're saying it's foul. He's coming back. So it's 1-2. And the Sturs have a chance to retire the leadoff man. Would have been a swinging bunt by Murillo to get on base for the first time today. But yes, put the gloves back on. Evo Shield on the left elbow and strolls all the way back around to the right side. So Sam Stevens has a chance to take care of the leadoff man. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On the ground, up the middle. Here comes Sawyer Forrest. Second baseman ranges to his right. Lasers it to first. The throw was in time. Cade Miller had to stretch out towards right field. It looked like his back leg did come off after the tag was made, but was able to make the play at first base using all of his frame, stretching towards right field. Good play by the first baseman, one down in the sixth. We'll go down as a 4-3 ground out. And that's going to bring up E.J. Royal. Blues leading 6-0, bottom of the sixth inning. Bases clear, one out. Here's the first pitch. It's going to miss down low for ball one. It's been an interesting day for Royal in terms of rhythm at the plate. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Sam Stevens. Fastball's down in the dirt. Royal had 3 plate appearances in the first 3 innings and now records his 4th in the 6th. Continued to come to the plate after 9 batters came around in the first for the Blues. 7 batters came around in the second. But now the 2-0 pitch. He's going to take a changeup inside ball 3. J.D. Goodcase is standing down the Foresters bullpen. Here comes a 3-0. Fastball is located for strike one on the inner half. Scott Murray, his initial plan was Waldeck, first man out, then Abraham, O'Neill, Gardino. Stevens is in currently, and next is Goodcase apparently. Here's a 3-1. It's a line down the left field line, and that ball is fair down into the corner. Royal, big turn at first base, and he's going to cruise into second standing. A 1-out double for Royal. He has his second hit of the day. And Cole Chamberlain will go out to talk things over with Stevens, but Stevens, Goodcase, Tag Andrews, Adderley, and Tyler Fino were all listed as, quote, backup guys today, guys to be used if you got into a bind, and looks like Bill Pintar is going to the bullpen. That's going to be it for Sam Stevens. We will have a pitching change. Man at second, one away. And it looks like J.D. Goodcase coming in for the Sturs. Blues by 6 in the bottom of the 6th inning from San Luis Obispo.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
J.D. Goodcase will enter for Santa Barbara. He will face Sam Ardois, number 2 batter, with E.J. Royal now at second after his double down the left field line. We were just alluding to it in terms of the pitching plan today for Scott Murray with the 6-run deficit, using the guys that weren't initially scheduled to pitch, just more of the bind guys. Get in a situation and you need someone to get it out. With Sam Stevens being the second man out of the pen, now J.D. Goodcase. Sam Stevens went inning in a third, 2 hits, responsible for the man at second. No walks and 2 strikeouts for Sam Stevens. And also, we'd like to remind you, Addison Klepsch, who pinch hit for Maddox Mandino in the top of the 6th, is now in at left field for Maddox. Brady Delmar, who pinched hit, now just serving as the DH. But here comes the first pitch from J.D. It's going to be a fastball located on the inner half for strike 1. A righty-righty matchup between him and Ardois. Ardois has gone 0 for 2 with a walk today. And it's second, 1 out. Blues lead 6-0. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Runner takes off. Throw down from Chamberlain to third baseman. It was a little wide. Mumaw had to make a sprawling play towards second base to collect that ball from going into the outfield. So it was going to be a stolen bag for Royal. And a good play from Mumaw just to keep the ball in the infield and not allow the runner. That ball was scorched, I should say. Sizzling off the hand of Cole Chamberlain. Now, Goodcase will call time, and the Stars are going to bring in the infield. With 1 out, runner now at third after the stolen bag. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Ardois. That's going to be away 1-2. 2-1, rather. Infield in. Mumaw at third. Coleman Ryan at short. Sawyer Farr second. Caden Miller at first. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Lifted and out of play down the right field line over the first base dugout. 2-2 for Sam Ardois. Still a nice amount of ambient light here in San Luis Obispo. It's going to be disappearing quickly. 2-2 pitch is a slider missing high and ducking underneath. It was Ardois. And the count now full. Royal at third. 6-0 the Blues lead. Bottom of 6. Just 1 out in the inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Ardois. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out. Big second out in the inning for J.D. Goodcase. A high fastball. First strikeout of the day for J.D. And that also eliminates the sacrifice fly with Royal at third. Trying to keep it a 6-0 deficit. Batter is now Donovan Jordan, who has gone 1 for 3. He has scored 2 runs and brought home a run. At third is Royal. No one holds on to him. First pitch is a slider check swing. No swing on the appeal down to our first base umpire for ball 1. Good-looking slider from J.D. Just didn't get the call. Nearly got the swing. But here comes the 1-0 pitch to Jordan. Rope down the left field line. It's fair down into the corner. Royal will score from third base, and Jordan is going into second, standing his second RBI double of the day. It is now a 7-0 lead for the Blues with 2 out in the 6th. That run will be charged to Sam Stevens. So his final line, inning in a third, 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned. No walks and 2 Ks. And that's going to bring him Zach Tollerman. 2 down, man at second. It's now a 7-0 lead for the SLO Blues. JD looks to second. Will fire home. Swing and a miss on the slider from the first pitch to Tollerman. 0-1. That is the first run of the ball of this game since the second for the Blues. 4-run damage in the first, 2 in the second. Now tacking 1 on in the 6th. Comes the 0-1 pitch. as Tollerman will spit on it but take a strike. Slider from JD finding the upper half of the zone. 0-2. Tollerman has gotten on board twice today. Did strike out in his last time up against Noah Waldeck. But here comes the 0-2 pitch. That slider is in there, called strike 3, and Tollerman will go down looking. But a run does come in for the Blues. Through 6, it is now a 7-0 lead for San Luis Obispo. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. Now into the 7th inning. From San Luis Obispo, it is now a 7-0 lead for the SLO Blues. Terrence Kill, Easton Mumma, Brenton Clark will be coming up for Santa Barbara. And a new arm in this ball game, Omar Reynoso, will now take over. Another lefty, so 2 lefty relievers being used today by Dean Traynor. And close this one out against the Sturs. Grand just in the top of the 7th. Here's the first pitch. Popped up down the right field line. Maybe a chance for the first baseman, Tollerman, and he can't make the play. That ball's coming over the shoulder, trying to catch it like a receiver with the dwindling skylight above us. Real tough play for the first baseman, about halfway down the right field line in foul ground. So that will be strike 1 on Terrence Kill. TK today has been hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out 4-3. Santa Barbara have left 10 men on base through 6 innings. Only a single hit. That was Easton Mumma, who had an infield single back in the first. And Reynoso, the reliever, the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Kill. (8:21) local time. If you're joining us in different time zones, thanks for sticking with us late into your evenings. Still got some decent ambient light here from Central California. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and it's going to miss upstairs. Reynoso A little bit of a hold when the leg came up. But he will miss upstairs on the fastball for ball 1 to Terrence Kill. Mumma and Clark will follow Terrence. And here comes another 1-2 pitch, and it's going to miss well away. And the changeup from the lefty, 2-2. Santa Barbara, after their loss on Sunday, that broke a 7-game winning streak. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Popped up and over the first base dugout. That goes back into the grass berm, past the stadium seats, and bounds into the hands of a young fan in attendance. Remains 2-2. Remember, 5 rows of elevated stadium seats here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Then a surrounding grass berm behind all of those 5 rows of stadium seats. And those stadium seats are painted orange here in San Luis Obispo. And here comes the 5th pitch of this, rather 6th pitch of this plate appearance for Terrence Kill. It is 2-2. The delivery, and it is foul back behind home plate, up the screen. Remains 2-2. Making Omar Reynoso work. And it's interesting for Dean Traynor going to another lefty. With Traynor, I should say Pintard, bringing in 2 right-handed hitters after a primarily dominant lefty lineup today for the Sturs. With nobody out, the leadoff man will see the 2-2 pitch popped up. Maybe a chance for the catcher, but it's drifting back. Long run for Andrews, and he makes the catch somehow. The catcher, with just a few feet to spare, put on the brakes and will make the squeeze. That ball went up the silo, and TK is retired, 1 down in the 7th. And that's going to bring up now Easton Mumma, the man with the only hit today, which came in the first inning, an infield single. Since then, he has a line out to third, has worked a walk. Stands in, bases clear, 1 away, Sturs trail by 7, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. It's going to be missing upstairs on a curveball for ball 1. Reynoso looks into his catcher, Cam Andrews. And Easton Mumma, who has been sensational this season, now see a 1-0 pitch. And the fastball missed down. Andrews tried to drag it up into the zone, but it is ball 2. Next will be Brenton Clark. 1 away and the base is clear. Blues lead 7-0. Comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball is going to be missing high and away for ball 3. It'll be interesting to see in the bottom half of this inning who will come out to the hill for the Sturs. J.D. Goodcase entered, recorded 2 outs. Will he take over? Maybe it might be Tag Andrews. But here comes a 3-0 pitch, and Easton will take a strike low in the zone, but Reynoso is able to get himself back in the count. Lefty reliever. Note the wind's blowing out more towards left field now, as it was going pole to pole, right to left, but more aiding a fly ball into left field. 3-1 pitch is going to miss upstairs for ball 4 and a 1-out walk for Easton Mumma. He is aboard for the 3rd time today, twice via a walk. That is the 9th walk given up today by SLO pitching. Hasn't hurt him. Currently, no runs on the scoreboard for Santa Barbara, and that's not something often we'd say. The Sturs known for working all of their walks, even walking in runs. We've seen that a number of times, notably Sawyer Farr this season. But Easton Mumma, 1-out walk, the 9th walk of the day for the Sturs. They've left 10 stranded on base this afternoon. And now, I should say more into the evening. There's a conference on the hill between the catcher and Reynoso, the pitcher. Batter is Brenton Clark. Another lefty-lefty matchup, and Brenton It's gone 0 for 1, but has 2 walks today. And Santa Barbara get any momentum. So we are in the top of the 7th. They trail by 7. Here's the pitch. First pitch is in there, a fastball, 0-1. And if you've been following Forester baseball this year or years in the past with what Bill Pintard builds, you know that Santa Barbara never out of a ball game. They're running out of time in this one, but you can get a couple runs, you never know. And at first, 1 out, 0-1 pitch will be taken down and away as a slider as Clark did square around to bunt. We see this occasionally from Brenton. It is 1-1. The next batter will be Cole Chamberlain. Barring the Sturs grounding into a double play. Look, the first from Reynoso, 1-1 pitch. And the fastball's on the outside edge at belt height for strike 2. Right on the edge. Could have gone either way, but goes in favor of the pitcher. And Reynoso ahead against Brenton Clark, 1-2. At first base is Muma. 1 away. 1-2 pitch. Nearly hits Clark. The slider will miss inside. Started at his hip and then worked its way in. It's 2-2. Easton this season has gone 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Bill Pintard and Steve Schuck don't call on him to run a whole lot so far this year. But it's 2-2. Reynoso brings home the pitch. Fastball is chopped to left side. Here's Cumberford. He's going to second. Got him for 2 out. But the ball was dropped by the second baseman. And Diego Murillo really had a chance to turn 2, but won't be able to record the second out. Was in his glove, and I think probably on the transfer, that ball just dropped out of his glove. So Brenton Clark is going to reach base. Muma will be safe at second. It'll likely go down as an error to keep Muma safe at second. And Brenton Clark a fielder's choice at first. But that can give some life to Santa Barbara now for Cole Chamberlain. First and second, 1 out. Here's the pitch as Cole will take fastball for a strike, 0-1. That ground ball really had the makings of turning 2. But Murillo, the second baseman, just dropped the ball likely on the transfer to his throwing hand. Chance to get some runs back. They trail by 7. Here's the 0-1. This one's down the right field line. It is a base hit for Cole Chamberlain from second base. Easton Muma is coming home. The throw, it's going to be close at the plate. He is safe, evading the tag. Cam Andrews had a realistic play. The catcher applying a tag to Easton Muma. Muma is able to evade it, slides home for the first run of the day for Santa Barbara. And advancing on the throw home, Chamberlain down to second. So an RBI single for Cole Chamberlain. 7-1 now the score. And runners at second and third for Santa Barbara. And the error costing SLO. We'll now have a pinch hitter for Santa Barbara to hit for Sawyer Farr. Easton Rulli will now hit from the right side against the lefty Omar Reynoso. Second and third, 1 run in, 7-1 the score, top of the 7th. Here comes the first pitch now to Easton. It's inside and a great pick by Cam Andrews. That ball was going into the backstop, but great back pick, I should say. Pick on the left-hand side on the backhand by the catcher to keep the runners at bay. Clark at third, Chamberlain at second. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Easton Rulli. That's going to bound past the catcher, and from third base, Brenton Clark is going to cruise home on a wild pitch. 2 runs now in for Santa Barbara. The lead for the Blues down to 5. And this all started with that E4 on the second baseman. It looked like the inning might be over with the double play, but couldn't even record the out at second. As a result, Moomaw scored the first run of the day, brought home by Chamberlain. Brenton Clark just scores on a wild pitch. And Chamberlain down to third base on that wild pitch. It is now 2-0 for Ruley. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a strike, 2-1. And Ruley, remember, leads the team in runs batted in with 14. He's got one at third base. 2-1 pitch. Good breaking ball in there for strike 2 from Reynoso. And Easton today is the third pinch hitter to be used by Pintard. Dallimore was the first, Klepsch was the next, and now Ruley hitting for Sawyer. Again, the ability with now a deeper bench for Santa Barbara. Comes a 2-2 pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. It draws foul. Remains 2-2. Chamberlain at third. Brought home the first run. Omar Reynoso trying to keep it a 5-run advantage for Santa Barbara. For SLO, pardon me. After the Sturs finding a little life in the 7th. Can really bring home the third run of this inning. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the ground left side. It's a tough play in the hole. Deflects off a glove of the third baseman past the shortstop. And coming home from third is Cole Chamberlain. 3 runs now in for Santa Barbara. And Easton Ruley, an RBI single. The third baseman Cumberford was trying to cut that ball off in the hole. It deflected off his glove. Ardois, the shortstop, was right behind him. He might have had a cleaner play at that ball. But after the ball deflected off of his glove, no chance for the shortstop. And Easton Ruley, a pinch hit RBI single. And now here comes Dean Schrainer out of the first base dugout. And it looks like that might be it for Omar Reynoso. There have been guys up in the bullpen for the Blues. 7-3 now the score. After the Sturs had only a single hit entering this inning. They've got 2 knocks. They've brought home 3 runs. And depending on how this one ends, we'll SLO look back to that error on what could have been likely a double play. The ball's going to remain with Reynoso. No pitching change. But 3 runs have been brought in. And Easton Ruley, fantastic job yet again, bringing home another run. And the batter is now Caden Miller. 7-3 the Blues lead. 3 runs in for Santa Barbara. Just 1 out in this inning. There goes Ruley, but he's caught down in a run down the play down to second base. They got him. Caught stealing. Ruley was hung out to dry. The lefty pitcher stepped off, and Ruley, as soon as he took off, he was already committed down to the first baseman. Tollerman just having to throw to the shortstop. They got him cleanly, and he took off, and Reynoso was watching him very keenly, did not balk, able to step off cleanly. There was no hesitation from Ruley. He was full steam ahead, but he was caught stealing, so there's the second out. The base is clear, and the first pitch for Caden Miller's fouled back off of Reynoso for strike 1. 3 runs in now. Base is clear, 2 away. 7-3 the Blues lead. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Caden Miller. Takes a slider for a strike, 0-2. He looks back to that third base dugout. Today, Caden, in his first start with Santa Barbara, been walked twice, a stolen base, and he struck out looking. He bats from the left side against the lefty reliever Reynoso. An open stance, the 0-2 pitch, reaching for and just tipping it off the end of the bat. He stays alive. Should he reach? Brady Dallimore stands on deck for the Sturs. Regardless of when this inning ends, the Sturs have found some life. It's just a 4-run deficit now. Starting this inning, it was 7. 0-2 pitch, slider, and that ball is still fair down the third baseline, rolling. The throw to first will not come, and Caden Miller is going to reach base. That's going to be a swinging bunt. Big swing on the slider, just taps down the third baseline. It stays fair, and that is now the third straight hit for Santa Barbara. Reynoso, the pitcher, raced off the hill, didn't even make a throw down to first base. And that is the first hit of the summer for Caden Miller. So 1 on, 2 out. Here's the first pitch to Dalmore. Big cut on a cutter. I should say a changeup from Reynoso. 0-1. Brady, first time today, grounded out to short. 7-3 the score. Blues on top. 3 runs in for Santa Barbara in the 7th. 0-1 pitch. That is down. Gets away from the catcher. A late throw, and I should say a late run from Caden Miller. He's going to take off and get down to second as that ball was bobbled, and Miller's able to advance to second. Ball and a strike for Dalmore. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside for ball 3. So Miller gets down to second on a wild pitch. And Dalmore has a chance to bring home the 4th run of this inning if he's able to put a ball in play. Reynoso stays in this game after Dean Traynor, the slow blue manager, electing to keep it that way. 2-1 pitch. Big swing from Dalmore. Foul tips back in the glove. 2-2. And Reynoso getting supported on and cheered on by this slow blues crowd. 3 runs in for Santa Barbara. Miller at second, 2 away. Reynoso glares over. Runner will hold. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. The slider got him, and the side retired, but Santa Barbara has put up 3 runs in the 7th. Stretch time in San Luis Obispo.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
San Luis Obispo, the left fielder. Number 40, Logan.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Now a 7-3 ball game. The Stars played in 3 runs, top half of the inning. 5, 6, 7 will be scheduled for San Luis Obispo, but Ethan O'Neill will now take over the right-hander for Santa Barbara. J.D. Goodcase came in, recorded 2 outs in the 6th in relief for Sam Stevens. And O'Neill will face Hart, Comerford, and Smith scheduled in this inning, 4-run ball game. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball on the inside edge for strike 1. Easton Ruley now in at second base after pinch hitting for Sawyer Farr. So a couple changes being made today for Bill Pintard, using the depth now of his bench. Here comes the 0-1. It's another fastball high and in, 1-1. O'Neill, a right-handed reliever, facing the lefty Hart, who today has gone 1 for 2. RBI single, a run scored with a walk. O'Neill trying to get the bats right back out there. Comes a 1-1 pitch, and that is in there for strike 2 on a slider. You look at the surroundings in San Luis Obispo, the rolling hills beyond the outfield fences, still nicely illuminated between the dimming night sky. 1-2 pitch. It's foul back off the end of the bat, directly behind the plate. Remains 1-2 for Logan Hart. The Blues held the Stars to only a single hit through 6 innings and no runs. But then 3 consecutive knocks for the Stars, played in 3 runs in this inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the off speed, and Logan Hart goes down swinging. 1 down in the 7th. First strikeout of the day for Ethan O'Neill.
Here's number 2, Brendan.
This is the 11th strikeout of the day by Santa Barbara pitching. J.D. Goodcase had 2, as did Stevens. Waldeck had 5. Bryce Navarre, the starter, had 1. It's 1 down, the base is clear. Here's Brendan Comerford. First pitch, squares around to bunts, off 1 hop back to the hill. A little bit of a fumble by the pitcher, but the throw will be late. Very close play at first base. That ball was bunted and almost landed on the pitcher's mound. O'Neill fielded on the third base side of the park. Fumbled it a fraction when he went down to scoop it up, and it looked like that throw was in time, but it was late, and Cumberford is aboard with a bunt single.
Here's number 10, the DH Gavin Smith.
It was real close at first base. Good effort from O'Neill, but 1 on, 1 out. Here's Gavin Smith, who's having himself a 2 for 3 day. Stands in from the right side. First pitch will miss well high for ball 1. Chamberlain, catcher will trot out casually to the hill. Talk things over with O'Neill. For Ethan, just his 2nd appearance of the summer for the Stars. First appearance came a few days back on the 18th against the Orange County Riptide. Pretty extensive conversation with the catcher and the pitcher. The wind's still blowing right to left. Maybe a fraction more towards the left field. Sam Stevens just finished up his freshman year with Xavier, another man who calls Texas home. Now the 1-0 pitch, and that's jammed near the hands on top of the first base dugout off the bat of Gavin Smith for strike 1. Sam Stevens, he knows how to throw the rock, that is for sure. At McCollum High School in Austin, Texas, career ERA of 1.18, over 171 innings in his career at his high school. Fantastic pitcher. 1-1 is going to be a fastball down for ball 2. Cumberford is at first, 1 down in the 7th. 7-3 the Blues lead. Stars picked up 3 runs to up half of this inning. And here comes a 2-1 delivery to Gavin Smith. And the fastball will miss upstairs for ball 3. We talked about those high school numbers for Stevens. 243 strikeouts in 171 innings pitched. Crazy how many Ks he picked up with the 26-4 overall record at McCollum High School. Ball's behind here, man on, 1 out. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss on the high fastball. Full count. Smith, who has an RBI single in the right, the base hit in a shallow left today. Looking for a ground ball to get the bats back out there. A 4-run lead for the Blues, bottom of 7. 3-2 pitch, runner goes, fly ball into right field, shallow right field, long run for Clark, but it falls for a base hit. Runner at second will hold. He couldn't tell if that ball was going to be caught. Cumberford to second. Smith is aboard for the 3rd time today. He is now 3 for 4 to keep the line moving with just 1 out in the 7th for the Blues. Now here comes Bill Pintard jogging out of the third base dugout. Smith at first, Cumberford at second. 1 down in the 7th. Remember, the Stars just picked up their first runs of this ball game. Had some momentum. And there are arms up, down in that third base bullpen. Can't tell the numbers. The lights are pretty nice on the field, but in the bullpen, they just look like misty shadows. Can't tell numbers. If I had to guess, other guys that were hot, Nick Abraham and Andrew Gardino, were available today. And all the arms available, just right-handers. You look at the pitching staff this season as well for Bill Pintard. Not a whole lot of lefties. We have seen 2 lefty relievers today for Dean Trainer in the SLO Blues, but the conference is complete. It remains with O'Neill. 1st and 3rd, 1 down, 7-3 the Blues lead. Batter is now Cam Andrews on 1 for 3. This could be a big inning for the Blues, trying to regain their lead and kill the momentum for Santa Barbara. First pitch is back and over the screen, and ricochets off the snack shack just below us. That is strike 1 on Andrews.
Free foul ball sponsor is SLO Safe Ride.
Andrews an infield single. Grounded to second and a strikeout. Cumberford at second, Smith at first for the Blues. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Late on it was Andrews, 0-2. Ethan O'Neill looking for a big second out. Can he find a ground ball? Remember, Easton Ruley now in at second base after pinch hitting for Farr. Coleman Ryan is at short. Look to second. O'Neill will deal the 0-2 pitch. High for ball 1. To follow Andrews, Diego Murillo, who stands on the first base on deck circle. First and second. Only a single out, 1-2 pitch will miss upstairs. Another fastball from Ethan O'Neill, 2-2. We've been talking about the wind continuing to blow pretty stiff the American flag straightaway in center field. 395 straight away here at Sinsheimer Stadium. 335 down the left field line and 320 down the right field line. The right-handed batter, Andrews. Now see the 2-2 pitch. That is down and away. Great cover from Chamberlain as the slider. And there was a play down at second base. The throw was well high, but the shortstop, Coleman Ryan, was backing up Ruley. Actually stopped that ball from going into center field. If that ball got into center, you couldn't tell if maybe Cumberford would take off. But it was a heads-up play from the catcher to throw down to second. But an even more heads-up play from Ryan, the shortstop, backing up Easton Ruley. It was 0-2. It is now 3-2. First and second, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Runners go. That's going to be ball 4, missing high and in, and Ethan O'Neill loses him. Andrews was ahead, I should say behind 0-2, but ends up working a walk. Loads the bases, only 1 out in the 7th. And after Santa Barbara in the top half of this inning scored 3, in jeopardy of giving runs back, can O'Neill find a ground ball? The batter is the number 9 hitter, Murillo. First pitch is a check swing, but he was able to go around, couldn't lay off of it, 0-1. Remember, Murillo, even though he's in the 9 spot on the year, hitting .435 and was the Slow Blues Player of the Week last week after going 4 for 10. Brought home 3 runs last week alone. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Sprayed down the right field line, well foul. Slowly seen probably 50 yards to the right. Strike 2. Well done from O'Neill to get himself ahead in the count. Looking for a massive second out in the 7th. Bases filled with Blues, 1 down. Comes the 0-2 pitch, strikes him out the slider, and Murillo is retired, 2 down in the 7th. That is the 12th strikeout today by Santa Barbara pitching, the 2nd by Ethan O'Neill. And that's going to bring up E.J. Royal, bases loaded, but a massive second out for Santa Barbara. After you got a little bit momentum, don't want to concede any more runs. It'll be a valiant effort if O'Neill can get out of this inning. Here's the first pitch. First pitch will find the high strike zone. Looked like it might have been a little high, but gets the call, 0-1. E.J. Royal today stands in for the 5th time. He's gone 2 for 4, a double and a single, and has scored twice. 0-1. That's going to miss inside, in and out of the glove of Chamberlain. It falls just to the left of the plate. Rather, that was a strike. So it is now 0-2. So for the 3rd straight batter, Ethan O'Neill finds himself ahead 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. Trying to keep a 7-4 Blues lead. Don't allow any more runs. 0-2 pitch, sliders down and away. Ball 1. In the 8th inning, the Sturs have 9-1-2 scheduled. Ryan Klepsch kill. Trying to keep it a 4-run deficit. O'Neill, 1-2 pitch. Sliders down, gets away from Chamberlain. The runners will hold, just bounced in on the slider. Probably went 2 yards to the right of Chamberlain towards the first base side of the park. But a fantastic cover by Chamberlain. I feel like we talk about every broadcast. The job the catcher does, specifically Cole Chamberlain, what he has done this season. Fantastic work. Here's another 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. Fastball misses away. Nowhere to put him. 7-4 the lead for the Blues. Ethan O'Neill takes a moment, wipes down the front of the hill with the shoe. Bases loaded. 2 down. Full count. Everyone's going to be on the move, and here comes the 3-2 pitch to Royal. Fly ball into right, slicing, maybe a chance for Clark and foul ground, but it's going to be the first baseman, Caden Miller, to make the squeeze and foul ground to retire the side, and Ethan O'Neill gets out of the jam, and it is just a 4-run deficit for Santa Barbara. On to the 8th, Ryan Klepsch kill coming up for the Sturs. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
The Santa Barbara Foresters trail by 4 runs to the top of the 8th inning. A new arm will be entering, a right-hander, Sean York. For the SLO Blues, he'll face Ryan Klepsch and Kill. Scheduled in the top half of the 8th inning for the Santa Barbara Foresters. But what an effort it was from Ethan O'Neill in the top half, I should say the bottom of the 7th. Bases were loaded, only a single out. O'Neill strikes out Murillo at the 9 spot, one of the hottest hitters for the Blues, and induces a foul out to retire the side to keep it a 4-run deficit and get the bats back out there. After the Sturs were held to just a single hit through 6. No runs. 3 runs in the 7th on 3 hits. Be a righty-righty matchup to start off the inning, and here is Coleman Ryan to bat from the right side. Here comes the first pitch from Sean York. And the fastball is going to be in there, clipping the lower half of the zone for strike 1. Ryan today has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. The third ground out, line out into left, then the walk in the last. Here's the 0-1. And it's going to miss inside for ball 1 to even the count for Coleman Ryan. In his first start this season, in his first plate appearances this evening for Santa Barbara, we'll see a 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss on the high fastball. 1-2. You look around the CCL as the temperature has started to taper off here, as has the crowd. See a lot of jackets and a lot of hoods now. Blues faithful at Sunshiner Park. Here's a 1-2. It's a slider flared up right side. Murillo, the second baseman, ranges to his left, makes the squeeze to retire Ryan. 1 out in the 8th. And the temperature is much cooler compared to what the Sturs have been used to being playing. When you do look at the stands and the fans that are still here, we said at the beginning of this game, the stadium seats pretty much completely filled, now probably half empty, maybe even 2/3 empty. It was the first pitch to Aston Klepsch. He went around on a slider, couldn't lay off of it for strike 1. Bases clear, 1 out. Sturs trail by 4, top of 8. And Sean York winds up an 0-1 pitch to Addison Klepsch. Sees a slider for a strike, a very tight slider from York. Nothing in 2. Klepsch hitting for the second time today. Pinched hit in the 6th, struck out. We'll now see the 0-2 pitch. It's another slider, nearly hits him, spins out of the way. It's for ball 1. Still a faint distance. You can still see the outline of the hills beyond the right field fences here, but now the 1-2 pitch is jammed and fouled back behind home plate. Halfway up the screen remains 1-2. With the sun setting to our right beyond first base, it's just still faintly see the outline. Picturesque rolling hills. But now another 1-2 pitch. The slider's in there. And Klepsch is going to go down looking 2 down in the 8th.
Number 2664. Here, head to the marketing tent. Get your slow heat.
That slider has so much movement. Starts on your body and then front doors its way in. Just unlucky for Klepsch. 2 down, the bases clear in the 8th. 7-3, the Blues lead. Batter's now Terrence Kill. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball missing high and in, ball 1. TK has reached when he's been hit by a pitch. Reached on a fielder's choice. Ground out to second and a pop-up to the catcher. Here comes the 1-0. And the fastball is in there. TK doesn't think so. A little bit high maybe, nothing in 1. Infield straight away, as is the outfield. 2 down in the inning. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's another slider. It's another good one. It's in there for strike 2. And if you're a right-handed batter against this right-handed pitcher, York, that slider's pretty much starting on your body. You be a little bit inside of it, and there's just bends its way back in. That's what got Ruley. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball well away in the ground on the other side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And all these games for Santa Barbara down to the later weeks of June. With July right around the corner, building to Wichita. The end of July. 2 down, the 2-2 pitch. The slider's going to hit TK. It started on his body, didn't bend that time, and Kill hit for the 2nd time today. He's been a magnet this past week for getting hit by a pitch, but he's okay. Tosses the gear, and a 2-out base runner for Santa Barbara.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
That's going to bring up Easton Mumaw. TK now at first, 2 away. 7-3, Blues on top. Top of the 8th inning. Mumaw will bat from the left side. Here's the pitch, and it nearly hits him. The fastball was yanked by the right-hander York, and Easton had to shimmy the feet back not to get hit, so it's ball 1 for Mumaw, who's gone 1 for 2, 2 walks, and also a run scored. So he's gotten on base 3 times today. York winds up the 1-0 pitch, and the fastball is going to get past Cam Andrews, and down to second base goes Terrence Kill. He probably could have thought about going to third, as that ball it's a deep backstop here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Probably 15 paces from home plate all the way back into that backstop. But TK now in a scoring position. It's going to go down as a passed ball. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Mumaw again. Nearly hits him. The fastball was yanked by Yorkin, so he falls behind Easton Mumaw 3-0. The Sturs had 3 straight hits in the 7th to plate their first runs of this game. There's now a 3-0 count for Easton Mumaw, man at second, 2 down. Here's the pitch, and that's in there, strike 1. You might be able to hear the train horn as the Amtrak slowly rolls by. Tracks that run parallel to the left field line beyond the right field fence. Here comes a 3-1 pitch, and that is inside for ball 4. Mumaw works his 3rd walk of the day. First and second, 2 down in the 8th. And the Amtrak locomotive tooting the horn. And Easton Mumaw is aboard. So here's Clark to bat from the left side. He was able to reach base and bring the tying run to the plate. First pitch is going to be missing low on a slider from York. Ball 1. Kill at second. Mumaw at first. 2 down. Blues lead 7-3 over Santa Barbara, though it was 7-0 entering the last inning. 1-0 pitch. Big swing from Clark, looking to make it a 1-run game. A ball and a strike. And it is worth noting, any fly ball, the air's gotten much heavier. Almost feels like a light fog in the area. The ball's definitely not going to travel very far. 1-1 pitch. That's going to be in there for strike 1 and 2. I shouldn't say the ball won't travel far, just won't travel as far as it would when this game started. Clark has worked 2 walks today, but he's behind 1 and 2. York, the delivery, and that's going to be inside on the slider. 2 and 2 is a good work from Andrews, sliding to his right. Gillette's second, Muma up first. Sturs trail by 4, in case you're wondering, in the 8th. 2, 3, 4 are scheduled for the Blues. The heart of their order. York winds up the 2-2 pitch to Clark. He will foul it back directly behind home plate. 2 and 2. And when the Sturs have come up to Sinsheimer Park over the years, always feel like they've been some quite competitive games. We saw an extra inning game up here last season. Some long games as well, now past the 3-hour mark. Sinsheimer Stadium. 2 down, 2 on. 2-2 pitch to Clark. Swing and a miss. The fastball from York gets Clark, and the Sturs leave 2 stranded in the 8th. On to the bottom of the inning, Ardois, Jordan, Tollerman will be coming up for the Blues. They lead 7-3 over Santa Barbara.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of 8, the Blues lead 7-3 over Santa Barbara. New arm was entering, the right-hander Tag Andrews, as he will face 2-3-4. Sam Ardois will lead off for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Bottom of 8 comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the fastball low in the zone by Tag. Andrews in his last outing, very nice appearance for the Sturs back on the 19th. When an inning gave up 1 hit and struck out 2. Next pitch is going to miss away on a slider, 1-1. And Andrews picked up actually the win on the 19th against the San Diego Waves, the 4-2 victory for Santa Barbara. Here's the 1-1, another fastball swing and a miss from Sam Ardois, 1-2. Objective for Tag, keep it a 4-run deficit. To not allow any more runs to come in. He's ahead in the count to the leadoff man. 1-2 pitch. Slider down and away, 2-2. Ardwal's gone 0 for 3 today with a walk. Ground out to second twice, struck out swinging. That walk came in the opening inning. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss on the fastball and tag. Andrews sees one and punches out one in the bottom of the 8th. We've alluded to it past couple games. The last 4 games entering tonight, Santa Barbara pitching has averaged 15 strikeouts a game. They now have 13. One away and the base is clear. Here comes Donovan Jordan. The first pitch is lined into left field. It's a base hit through the gap and into left. And Donovan Jordan has his second hit of the day. He's got 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and now a base hit with 1 down in the 8th. With his team leading 7-3 over Santa Barbara. That will bring up Zach Tollerman. Even though it is a 4-run advantage for Santa Barbara. With them putting up 3 runs in the 7th, if you're able to load up the bases, bring the tying run to the plate, cause for the SLO Blues, if they got one more, probably a lot more comfortable. Comes the first pitch. It's a slider for a strike on Tollerman, 0-1. Even though 4 runs is quite a nice lead. With what Santa Barbara has done this season, and even done today, 5 runs would be a lot more. Here's the 0-1. It's a slider chopped over to the third base. Tough play for the third baseman. They go to second. They got one to first, and the throw was in time. A 5-4-3 double play. Fantastic work from Easton Ruley to Caden Miller as Mumaw, the third baseman, fielded that one behind third base. Long throws all the way around the horn, but Tag Andrews only faces the minimum, and we're on to the 9th. Stars have Chamberlain, Ruley, Miller coming up, trailing by 4 on to the 9th.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
The SLO Blues pitcher will remain Sean York after entering in the last inning. He's going to face Chamberlain, Ruley, and Miller. Blues by 4 runs to start off the 9th. Here comes the first pitch to Chamberlain. The left-handed batter is going to take a fastball down and away. 1-0. York got 2 quick outs in the 8th, then hit a batter and walked Easton Mumaw. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Cole Chamberlain. Chamberlain will foul it back behind the plate, halfway up the screen, 1-1. Chamberlain today has struck out, fouled out, worked a walk, and an RBI single, which brought home the first of the 3 runs back in the 7th inning. Start of 3 straight hits for the Stars. Currently, they've only got 4 knocks. Here's a 1-1, and that nearly hits the right side of Cole Chamberlain. Fastball by York that I've seen a couple times. He's yanked inside, especially to the left-handed batters. The right-handed reliever pulls it inside and nearly hits the right sides of left-handed Foresters. But it's now 2-1. Here's the delivery. And the changeup will miss away for ball 3. Easton Ruley is next. Santa Barbara trail by 4 entering the 9th. They went down 6-0 through 2. Entering the 7th, they trailed 7-0. Here comes a 3-1 pitch to Chamberlain. That is missing high and away, and Chamberlain is aboard for the 3rd straight plate appearance. A leadoff walk for Santa Barbara. And that's going to bring up Easton Ruley. 1 walk for the cause for the Blues, not going to kill you. But that's something that the Santa Barbara Foresters do so well throughout the course of a game, work walks. That's the 3rd walk, rather the 2nd walk given up today by Sean York. That is the 11th walk given up by SLO Blues pitching today. So 1 on, nobody out. First pitch to Ruley is a slider for ball 1, missing down low. There are guys up down that right field bullpen, tossing for the Blues. Likely a pretty tight leash for Sean York. Another man gets on, likely his day. Here's a 1-0. It's a slider located for a strike, 1-1. And the man warming up is a right-handed side armor for the SLO Blues. Maybe even borderline submariner warming up. But a man on, it's Chamberlain, who's gone 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Here's a 1-1. It's a slider on the outside edge. Ruley thought that might have been generous, 1-2. That called strike reignites the Blues faithful still here at Sinsheimer Park. It is thinned out drastically as the temperature has drastically dropped off. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Fastball's away. It gets past the catcher. Down to second base goes Chamberlain. Wide turn at second. He'll put on the brakes. And on the wild pitch, Chamberlain is aboard. I should say advances into scoring position. And it is now 2-2 for Easton Ruley. Ruley today, he pinched hit in the 7th, had an RBI infield single. 15th run batted in this year for Ruley. In its 2nd, Sturs trail by 4 runs in the 9th. York looks to second, and here comes the 2-2 pitch on the ground. I should say rope down the left field line. Foul, just about a foot foul down the left field line. Hard hit by Easton Ruley. And he's going to have to go retrieve the lumber. Back to second goes Chamberlain. Caden Miller will be next for Santa Barbara. Man playing in his first game with the Sturs. Will they be 1 on or 2 on is the question. Can Ruley reach base? It's a 4-run game in the top of the 9th. You load up the bases, you bring the tying run to the plate. But here comes the 2-2 pitch from Sean York to Ruley, and it's going to hit Easton. A walk and a hit batter to start off the 9th inning.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
First and second, nobody out, and here comes Dean Traynor. This has to be it for Sean York. There's been guys warming up down in that right field bullpen. And York came in the 8th inning. You walk a guy, and Ruley, who was at a 2-2 count, just got hit on the left side. Still a long conversation. If York's going to stay in this game, you will face Miller. First and second, nobody out. To follow Miller will be Brady Dallimore. This conversation still ensuing on the hill, and our home plate umpire going to now break up the party, and it's going to stay with Sean York. Dean Traynor, the manager for the Blues, trusting York after walking a man and hitting Ruley. Is a 4-run ball game. You say that, sounds like a lot, but you get one more on. Brady Dallimore, who's had 2 home runs last week, is coming to the plate. And we did say the ball's not going to be flying how it would be if this game is back at 6 o'clock local time. Much heavier air now. But here is Miller, bats from the left side. First pitch is in there on a fastball, 0-1. Miller in his Forster debut has worked 2 walks, struck out looking, and an infield single. Infield at double play depth all the way around. And here comes the 0-1 pitch from York. Looks to second, fires home. Big swing, fouled it back off the mask of the catcher. It's now strike 2 on Miller. Miller, during his time this year with UTSA, brought home 41 runs. In case you're wondering, 8 home runs, but not with wooden bats and not in this temperature. First and second, nobody out. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Chasing the high fastball, 1 down in the 9th. And now Sean York looking for a ground ball to finish off this ball game. The batter is Dallimore to hit for the 3rd time today. Hoover started the game as the DH. Dallimore since ground up to short, struck out swinging. At third is Chamberlain, Rulli at first. Stars have 2 outs to work with, trailing by 4. First pitch, fastball, actually the slider from York, in the dirt for ball 1. Should Dallimore reach? Coleman Ryan would be next. As a slow Blues reliever looks for a ground ball. 1-0 pitch is a fastball on the outside edge. 1-1. 7-3 the Blues lead. The Stars got some momentum in the 7th, putting up 3 to make it a 4-run deficit. York looks to second. And finally, the 1-1 delivery is a slider, and it's foul back. Dallimore's jammed near the hands and rolls it towards the first base on deck circle. Strike 2. And Dean Trainer's put a lot of faith in Sean York, who has had a very nice summer so far with the Blues. He allowed a single earned run this year. First and second, 1 out. 1-2 pitch to Dallimore. Slider away. 2-2. The wind's continuing to blow out towards the left, but in this heavy air. Sean York looks to second. The Blues reliever now fire home. A 2-2 pitch to Dallimore. He will spray it over the first base dugout, back onto the berm, straight to the hands of a young Blues fan. And not much crowd left here at Sinsheimer Park. It's a pretty nice turnout for a Tuesday evening, but it's thinned out drastically. First and second. Here comes the 6th pitch of the plate appearance for Brady Dallimore. 2-2 pitch is inside, nearly hits him. That is ball 3. If Dallimore reaches, you're bringing the tying run to the plate in the form of Coleman Ryan. At second, Chamberlain. Rulli at first. York will wind up a 3-2 pitch to Dallimore. It's away. The slider misses. Bases are loaded. And the tying run is coming to the plate for Santa Barbara. And here comes the manager. And now Sean York, who likely talked his way to staying in this game, struck out Miller for the first out. And it looks like Dean Trainer is going to his bullpen, trying to close out this game. Santa Barbara have the bases loaded. Tying run is coming to the plate. We'll step aside. New arm coming in. With 1 out in the 9th. Bases filled with Forsters. Tying run coming to the plate next.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Forester's home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Now in the ballgame for the Slow Blues, Chase Rogers in a save situation. Tying run at the plate, 7-3 the lead for the Blues. Comes the first pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike. Rogers on the delivery to Coleman Ryan. On a slider, 0-1. Chase Rogers, the side armor, almost call him a submariner. Bases filled with Foresters, only a single out. Comes the 0-1 pitch, and the side armor will miss inside with the two-seamer, 1-1. Chamberlain is at third, Rulli at second. Brady Dallimore is at first. Rogers winds up the 1-1 pitch to Ryan. A fly ball into left, drifting back is Logan Hart. He's going to make the squeeze, and tagging up at third base is Cole Chamberlain. It's going to go down as a sacrifice fly for Coleman Ryan to make it a 7-4 ball game. You bring home a run. Rulli remains at second. Dallimore remains at first. But now 2 down in the ninth. And that ball was hit pretty well. Any time of the day, it might carry a little bit farther, but now the tying run remains at the plate in the form of Addison Klepsch. First pitch, and the side armor will miss a two-seamer inside, ball 1. Klepsch hitting for the third time today. He struck out twice after taking over from Mandino. 7-4 the score. Sturs down to their final out. 1-0 pitch is popped up and fouled back into the berm and bounces right in front of the press box. 1-1. Dallimore, who's at first base, reached via a walk. 12 walks Santa Barbara has been able to work today, but they've only amassed 4 runs. But can they tie it? Tying run at the plate. 0-1 pitch is a slider away. 2-1 now, rather, on Klepsch. Chase Rogers coming set from the middle of the hill. 2-1 pitch on the ground left side. It's through for a base hit. Down into left field. Logan Hart will scoop it up from second base. Will come east, and really an RBI single for Addison Klepsch. And the Sturs have life. They're bringing the go-ahead run to the plate, and the tying run now on base in the form of Terrence Kill coming to the plate. Klepsch, who had struck out twice today, clutch hitting, ropes it down the left field line to bring home the 5th run of the day. It is first and second. Go-ahead run now at the plate, but the tying run at first base. Kill to bat from the right side against the right-handed reliever. Here's the first pitch. It's a slider in there for a strike, and Kill not happy with that call. And he's still pleading his case. He has to be careful now. Bill Pintard out of the third base dugout. Some colorful shouts from the third base dugout to our plate umpire. That's strike one. First and second, 2 down. Sturs still down to their final out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's on the ground left side. Here's Cumberford. He's going to first base, and the throw will be in time, and there is our ball game. The Sturs had the tying run on base, but will come up short. Final score, 7-5. And some animated Sturs out of the third base dugout as these two teams lightly jawing, and now the bases umpires getting between the two teams. Bill Pintard shoves one of the players back to the third base dugout. There was some chirps and discourse between the two benches as they exited the field. And these two teams, well, they'll do it again tomorrow, and they'll do it twice more this week. Playing tomorrow up here at Sinsheimer Park, 6 o'clock first pitch. Playing on Saturday up here in SLO, and then playing also in Santa Barbara. And the Santa Barbara dugout still looking down into the infield where the Blues are. And you feel like this is going to only make things more interesting into tomorrow. These two teams that have history and always hard-fought games. A little bit extracurriculars after the final out as the Sturs had the tying run on base and a valiant effort after going down 7-0. Able to plate 3 runs in the 7th. Plate 2 runs in the 9th to make things interesting, but SLO will hold on and take the first 2 games of this series against Santa Barbara. Once again, the final score 7-5. San Luis Obispo takes it over the Foresters. But we'll have another game tomorrow up here, 6 o'clock local time. For the entire team, the entire staff, I am Hunter Shoemake saying so long from California. We'll see you tomorrow when the Sturs are back in action.